What is up, hooligans, and happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. Going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we will be checking on all the chats. So let me know how you hooligans are doing today. Then, of course, we will be getting things started. First, I want to give a huge shout out to Lone Wolf. Thank you so much for the Buy Me a Coffees yesterday. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to Cody. Thank you for the Buy Me a Coffees. I really appreciate you, Cody. And thank you so much to John for the Cash App yesterday. I appreciate you, John. Thank you guys so much for the support. We'll be starting off with a video titled Vatican Installs Chimney to Prepare Conclave Smoke Signals. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I guess they're going to have, it's kind of like gender reveal. They're going to play smoke, and if it's white, they figured out a new pope. If it ain't, they ain't found a new pope. I don't know if they normally do that, but that's what they're doing this time. Then we got a video titled Trump Ends China's De minimis duty exemption on low-value packages. Pretty much anything that comes into the country less than $800 from China was exempt from tariffs, but that's not the case anymore. Then we got a video titled Melania Trump's support on deepfake bill means so much to me, says Elliston Berry. This is the takedown bill, I think is what it's called. So if people make deepfakes of you naked, you can request to have that content taken down on social media. I mean, people would actually have to use the moderation tools in order to do that, and people don't like doing that, but either way. Then we got a video titled Elon Musk DOGE team breaks down bombshell findings. We got a second video we're going to play back to back with this. The second one's titled Big Balls of DOGE Speaks. I know that's the real one you guys want to see. Then we got a video titled Trump cuts funding to PBS and NPR, which is good because they're worthless and they're biased. In this video, they're also going to be mentioning how Harvard's tax-exempt status is being threatened by President Trump. Then we got a video titled Snowboarder goes from Olympics to the FBI's most wanted list. Apparently he was an Olympian snowboarder. Now he's some drug kingpin that traffics drugs between Mexico, the U.S., as well as Canada. Then we got a video titled U.S. Judge's Latest Move Hindering the Trump Administration's Deportation Agenda. Then we got a video titled, where are we at? Trump and Nome have made this their top priority, Deputy ICE Director says. This is a follow-up video on DeSantis's Operation Tidal Wave. We covered it yesterday. DeSantis, governor of Florida, is doing their own mass deportation. They're actually getting shit done. They're also going to have a little bit of a follow-up, some information on Senator Dumbass. It's Senator Van Hollen that went to go see Garcia in El Salvador. He's kind of backpedaling now that all this information's coming out about Garcia. Then the last little bit of the news is titled Families of Judges Who Ruled Against President Trump Are Coming Under Attack. It's not good, but, you know, it is what it is. Then we'll be getting into the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Hair Juicer. Then we got our first funny video of the day titled Don't Be Afraid to Defend Yourself. I got to figure out who sent that to us. I forgot to look. And then our second video is titled When You're Bad at Following Advice. And that was provided by Hair Juicer. All of that's coming up next. But first we're going to read through the chats, see how you hooligans are doing today. What is up, everyone over on jeffmaclive.com. What's up, Russell? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Guess Jay? What's up, Josh1776? What's up, 10 Man? What's up, Jay Spray? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Tori Wayne? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone over on Rumble? Elder Zoomer, you were first today. And I appreciate you racing in the chat. What's up, Tony Rez? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Shroomish? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Puffin Stuff? What's up, Sly Dog? Happy freedom. What's up, Bobby? What's up, Xterra? Happy freedom to you, hooligans. Let me see. Did I get you, MU? I don't know. Happy freedom to you, MU. Do. What's up, Stoner? Happy freedom to you. Make sure we get everybody. What's up, Garth? Happy freedom to you. You did have sexual relations with that white woman? That is something else, Garth. You just reminded me there's a video I need to put on the schedule, but I got to see if they say bad words in it because there's a crazy topic going around, but the video is so graphic I can't play it on the live. Let me see. I'll figure it out. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble. See if you can get us on the front page. And what is up, everyone over on Kig? What's up, Meta? Happy freedom to you. What's up, DeRosa? Happy freedom to you. And what is up, everyone over on Twitch? What is your name? Stifler's mom. Happy freedom, Stifler's mom. And what is up, everyone over on the Goof Tube? Prop Patriot Girly, you were first over here. What's up, Dan? What's up, Mana? What's up, Toy Mafia? What? Guess I'm Jay, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. Xterra, you were omnipresent. What's up, Scott? Happy Freedom. What's up, Larry? And I think that's everybody. You guys are welcome. Hit that like button as well. And what is up, everyone over on X? If we can get this pulled up real quick. There we go. Happy Freedom, everyone watching on X. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started into things. Like I said, this first video is titled Vatican Installs Chimney to Prepare for Conclave Smoke Signals. I don't know if they normally do this or if they were just like, hey, it's 2025, let's do something weird. But apparently this is how they're going to tell the public about if there's a new pope. I guess. I don't know. Anyways, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick, we have these Trump was right about everything t-shirts. Now this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have the opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, dog tags, and we've made long sleeve shirts out of this design. Today I got on the Stars and Stripes hooligan badge. We got lots of items and lots of designs over in the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chats while we're watching this first video.
And it is really, really amazing.
It's fantastic. It's really historical, isn't it?
We are excited because we are awaiting the result. We are hoping that it is quick. That way we will see the white smoke very quickly.
All right, like I said, I don't know if this is normal or not, but apparently they're putting some sort of chimney up at the Vatican so they can puff little smoke signals out of it, and they'll send you the signals when they figure out who the new pope is. I don't even know how they choose popes or anything like that. I don't know. I don't hear anything good about the Vatican, so I don't have a lot to say about it. Either way, next up we got Trump ends China's de minimis duty exemption on low value packages. Might as well just get this pulled up. How much could we really say about a chimney, right? Now, of course, they're trying to demonize the tariffs and everything in this. They're saying that it's going to increase prices and it's going to lengthen delivery times. It's all Trump's fault because now packages that are below $800, which used to be exempt from tariffs, is no longer exempt. So hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Shoppers are already feeling some added effects of those tariffs this morning. A special exemption that prevented tariffs from being imposed on some packages coming from China expired overnight. So what does that mean? That means you could be paying more at checkout and then dealing with really long delivery times. News Nation's Brooke Schaefer is following the latest for us. Brooke, everyone's going, okay, how does this impact me? Break this down for us, because this is about to impact more than, 4 million packages that come into the United States on a daily basis.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of product here, Marky. President Trump has called this loophole a scam. Again, others have called it a loophole, but it ends today. And it could, as we said, mean higher prices and even delivery delays for people at home. The Trump administration is ending today something called the de minimis exemption. Until today, it's let packages under $800 come into the U.S., mostly from China, duty-free. As you said, Marky, that's as many as 4 million packages a day. And that rule that expired at 12:01 a.m., it was created because sometimes processing a tariff fee on those small packages would cost more than the fee itself, or it was just more work than it was actually worth. But as tensions have grown between President Trump and China, the president last month signed an executive order doing away with this, claiming that opioids like fentanyl or the ingredients to make it enter the U.S. through this exemption. The White House said the president is targeting deceptive shipping practices by Chinese-based shippers, many of whom hide illicit substances, including synthetic opioids, in low-value packages. Here's President Trump at Wednesday's cabinet meeting.
Very important, de minimis. It's a big deal. It's a big scam going on against our country, against really small businesses, and we put an end to it.
Now, concerns over China's exploitation of this so-called loophole aren't new. Last fall, President Biden announced restrictions on what was eligible after House Democrats, both moderate and progressive, penned a letter urging President Biden to end the practice they said expose American consumers to great risk by flooding the market with fake and sometimes dangerous imported goods. But for people who make their products here in the U.S. using some of those small ticket items from China, this is just another way, Marky, that things could get a whole lot more expensive for consumers.
Yeah.
Marky?
And Brooke, I'm thinking about all the people who did online shopping this week. They put a ton of items in their cart. What kinds of products are about to be affected by this?
Again, keep in mind, we're talking about those low or lower cost things, shoes, clothes, holiday decorations. We're talking about retailers like Temu and Shein, which primarily import goods from China. They're definitely on that list of affected businesses. They've already started even flagging the tariffs to their consumers on their websites. Some Amazon purchases, though, are likely to be hit as well. But small American businesses like Etsy creators could stand to suffer the most here, as manufacturers in the U.S. are less likely to take on small batch orders of supplies. But another thing here, Marky, we talked about some delays. Carriers like UPS and FedEx will now have a more complicated customs process with those small de minimis items. So you could see some shipping delays as well. But the White House here maintaining that this is a move that they believe will combat China's role in the opioid crisis.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app.
I like how they flip-flop through that video there. They're like, yeah, Trump's tariffs is causing an increase in prices and delay in delivery times, and they're being mean to China. Biden did this and it was fine, but the Orange Eagle, he's doing it. Nah, that makes him a terrible person. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I don't know. I don't order shit from China. I'm not worried about it. I don't use Temu or Shein or order anything off TikTok. I don't do that stuff, so I'm not really worried about this. The tariffs are necessary. People don't seem to care when we're, having tariffs put on us, but if we make them reciprocal, it's time to get bent out of shape. Next up, Melania Trump's support on deepfake bill means so much to me, says Alliston Berry. This is the takedown bill. So if somebody makes a cheap fake of you naked on the internet, you can request that that image or video or whatever gets taken down from social media. I don't fully understand that because you already can't post nudity on most social media unless you're on X. So I don't even really know what this is going to do. But either way, it's supposed to be good. It's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the de minimis duty exemption for China as well as the Vatican putting up a new chimney. Guess Temu and IKEA merged. New companies called shit. No, I believe it. I believe it. Sub-Zero, happy freedom to you. Snooks, they always use a chimney thing. Weird. Never heard of it. What's up, Jay Spray? Happy freedom. How do they pick the new pope? How do they figure that out? Do they draw straws? Guess I can't say that out loud. That's quite the poetry there, though. What's up, Turbo? Happy freedom to you. MU, mainstream media loves fear-mongering, targeting older folk. Yep. Causing panic buys and stuff like that. What's up, Appeal to Heaven? Happy freedom. Stoner, Etsy is supposed to be handcrafted products anyways. It's not supposed to be Chinese crap. Yeah, you're right. Half the stuff you guys are writing, I can't even read it out loud. What's up, Kung Fu? Happy freedom. A new chimney for Santa Claus? I mean, I guess. They better leave out the milk and cookies. What's up, Trumpster? Happy freedom. Sliffer's mom. The smoke for the Pope has been around since the 15th century. Interesting. What's up, Skulls? Happy freedom. What's up, the Foundry? Larry, votes by senior cardinals. How long does it normally take before they come up with a new pope? What's up, Gary? Happy freedom. What's up, Vinny C? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Spirit Matter? What's up, Corey Luca? Corey Luca. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look that up. I'll check it out, Corey Luca. Thank you for letting me know. What's up, Alex? What's up, H&O? Happy freedom. Prop Picture Girly. I was going to order cute stuff from Shein, but nope, not going to pay the extra. I don't know. I keep hearing that those websites are stealing people's credit card numbers and stuff. I don't use it, so I don't know firsthand. What's up, neighbor guy? Happy freedom to you. Corey Luca, yeah, I saw a couple articles when I typed it in to the tab. I'll check it out after the live. Snooks, it can take until they all agree. How long does it normally take, though? Hair juicer. I thought it was about 9 days. That's not too long. I was curious. Hair juicer. Pope smoke sounds like some dank weed. I remember hearing about weed called God's vagina or something like that. I never got my hands on any. Anyways, moving forward here. This next one's titled, Melania Trump's support on deepfake bill means so much to me, says Elliston Berry. This is about the takedown bill. Like I was saying, if somebody photoshops a naked image of you on the internet or whatever, any form of that, you can request that it gets taken down. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you hooligans really quick. If you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out, as we're making Saturdays more fun. Let's get this pulled up real quick like. Alright, hooligans, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Elliston Berry turned another year older and apparently had the chance to meet up with the First Lady. Can you tell us what that was like and how you're feeling today?
Yes, it was truly incredible. I mean, this has come so far, and it's really just been such a healing experience being able to take this bad situation and turn it into good. And when the First Lady's office reached out, it was really just, it's so amazing. Having the opportunity to sit by her and allow her to support this and really take a heart for this matter really just means so much.
The First Lady said this about the passage of the bill. I wanted to read this for our viewers. It says this, quote, "Pass, Take It Down Act advancing this legislation has been a key focus since I returned to my role as First Lady this past January. I am honored to have contributed to guiding it through Congress. By safeguarding children from hurtful online behavior today, we take a vital step in nurturing our leaders of tomorrow. Hashtag be best." You got the First Lady behind you, obviously, there. Just talking about, this is a very sensitive topic, Ellison. One that maybe you wouldn't be typically comfortable with opening up on or going on national television and talking to the First Lady of the United States about it. But you did. How was that received, that interaction by Melania Trump?
Well, it's really just been, it's so amazing. She's really helped validate my feelings. And when this first happened, being able to come on national news and sharing my story is a really vulnerable place, especially because I opened myself up to be a bigger target. But at some point in my mind, it switched when this situation's not just about me, but it's about the future of America. It's about America's children. And having her and her initiative Be Best, which is strictly all about protecting America's children, has been so encouraging, especially because we know that she has a heart for protecting seeing the future generations, and her supporting this bill and really helping push it just means so much.
Yeah, there you are again at the joint address to Congress, a little flashback in time. What a very special moment. But it all has to do with a serious issue that now with the advancements of technology, I know a lot of teenagers are facing. And once things are out on the internet, they can really stay there for a while. How do you even go about sort of correcting these images here and really aiming to take them down?
Well, this has been a really crazy experience because I am just a normal teenager. So when we were trying to get in contact with Snapchat in order to take these images down, it was really stressful and really disappointing because we didn't have that power to take these images down. But it was with the help of Texas Senator Ted Cruz where he was able to get the images down. But for a normal person who might not have that political power, have that political being in order to get the images down, it is really difficult, which is why this Take It Down Act is so important, because it allows the social media accounts and the social media platforms to be held accountable as well by taking down these images. This bill really protects the normal citizens just like me who have gone through a similar situation.
Yeah, and I don't want to take. I want to make sure we mention obviously Ted Cruz as well. That was a major part of helping get this through, and he's been a major advocate specifically for you, and having a senator on your side like that and the first lady doesn't hurt. I want to ask.
Okay, so that video is kind of redundant. They just sit there and kind of go over it over and over and over again. But either way, they got it passed. Now I think we just need the president to sign it and it'll be law. So like I said, if any of your fans decide to post pictures of you and slap some tits on you or something on the internet, you should have an ability to take it down. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's probably going to be different for each social media platform. Probably just reporting content, so we'll see if the system gets abused, but it is a good thing. You don't want people posting bad stuff like that, especially nowadays where your job or, you know, a career you're applying for, they want to search through your social media, try to figure out what kind of person you are. Next thing you know, you're tagged, you know, in some fake photo with your tits out that's not real. It definitely can hurt you, especially if you're young, right? You're a young person, you definitely don't deserve that kind of treatment. So it's a good thing. I just wonder how they're going to implement the system. I assume it's just going to be reporting content. Next up, we got Elon Musk. DOGE team breaks down bombshell findings. This is a summary of a little get-together they had yesterday with Jesse Waters from Fox. We got a second video we're going to play back-to-back. It's titled Big Balls of DOGE Speaks. Both those videos are coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about Melania Trump's support for the Takedown Act. Drive safe, 10 man. Appreciate you being with us, though. Guess if you guys come across my pic, and let's see, on a really buff and sexy body, that's not fake. That's probably me. Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what I was expecting, you know. Zero, the highest up have have a conclave and schmooze each other and vote. Whoever schmoozes best wins. Then they deploy the white smoke. Thank you for letting me know, Zero. Snooks, the new pope will need 2/3 of the vote. The longest conclave voting took 3 years. Holy. I mean, I don't know what the pope does anyway, so whatever's whatever. Now I know. Russell, I'm glad they got the law passed. We didn't have these problems when I was in school. I remember Photoshop being not exactly new, but people weren't using it maliciously like this. They were just making memes. That was pretty much it. We weren't trying to put pictures of each other naked up on the internet. Back then, you probably could, though. Nowadays, you can't even say funny jokes without getting your stuff taken off the internet, so I don't know. Mac Daddy, the way they pick the Pope is who has the less little boy bones in their closet. See, I have a whole brain full of stuff to say that's like that, but I'm trying to be nice. Yes. What's up, High Plains Drifter? Happy Freedom. Stoner, I don't have any social media in my name, only my aliases. Yeah. I think the goal here is to be so terrible that if somebody photoshopped you, it would just be a diet version of yourself, you know, and that way they could never get you. They'd never get you. You're automatically outdoing them. Stoner, quit cheap faking me. KJP, she's going to be having everybody taking down their stuff. She's been cheap fake more than anybody I know. Mike T, the new movie Conclave kind of goes over the procedure. I've never even heard of that, but I will look it up. I think I saw someone on YouTube said that too. I'll check it out after the live. Thank you for letting me know, Mike T. Appeal to Evan, Temu and Sheen. Never use your own personal use. PayPal didn't get any information from me. Yeah, a lot of people said he used prepaid credit cards and stuff like that too. Shroomish, I had some fraud after using Temu. Had to change my cards, so never shopped on Temu again. Yeah, I've heard of a lot of people having similar stories. I added a news story to the live, by the way. It's titled, "The Rochester Police are actively looking into Shiloh Hendricks and the local NAACP are calling for charges." If you don't know, Shiloh Hendricks recently just blew up in a viral video where she's holding a child and she's being chased around by an Indian dude who's recording her, claiming that she called a child the N-word or something, and she did not deny it. And then they went back and forth, and then she said it some more, and then she wandered off with her kid. Now, it's not the greatest thing to say, but it is free speech. It's completely covered in free speech, and it's not a crime. And so now Rochester, wherever that is apparently trying to press charges on her over free speech. So they're not going to say any fun stuff in the video, so don't think that's going to happen. But I did find a video where they're claiming they're looking for her, and they're going to try and press charges on her for using free speech. Guess something happened in New York. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's my timeline is full of that. When I go on X, it's just that video a million times. And it's whatever. People calling each other names ain't, worse than that. But somebody trying to arrest you for calling names, that's ridiculous. They can't come after you over free speech. That's bullshit. Kung Fu, I probably look good with big titties. I wasn't going to say anything, Kung Fu, but you're probably right. You're probably right. Kung Fu, there's actually 2 or 3 videos trying to go viral today on the same subject. Yeah. Like I said, my timeline is full of it, so I assume that stuff is circulating everywhere. What's up, Tony Rich? Happy Freedom. What's up, Information Warlord? Happy Freedom to you. Devin, charges for using a word. Yeah. I don't know what they're... Hate speech is not a crime. It's just a fancy label. What's up, Itchy? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Albardo? Prop picture girl, I use a prepaid card when ordering on Shein. Yeah, it's probably the safest way to do it. Devin, the N-word. Yeah, nuclear. You guys remember when President Trump did that? He got on stage and he said, "I'm going to say it." And everybody was like, "What?" And he was like, "I'm going to say the N-word." And everyone was like, "What?" And he was like, "Nuclear." And we all were like, "Oh." He only did that one time. One time. After that, people were like, "Yo, don't do that again. Do not do that again." Simply Witchy probably trying to make it a hate crime. Yeah, I think so, but it ain't a crime to talk at people. It's a crime to threaten them, but she didn't threaten anybody. She was just calling names. It's not a crime, but happy freedom to you, Simply Witchy. Zero, didn't that kid steal something from her kid? Yeah, and it's kind of debated if it's the Indian dude's kid that is the kid that was called names and accused of stealing, or if it was a third party's kid that ran up and tried to steal something from her son. But it's really not that big of a deal, and they're making it a big deal. Shroomish, anti-Semitic hate speech is illegal nowadays, I guess. Well, yeah, but I don't think they said anything anti-Semitic. What's up, Sage Pup? What's up, Plastic Quack? Happy Freedom. All right, hooligans, we're going to move forward here. Like I said, we're going to play these next two videos back to back. First one's titled Elon Musk, DOGE team breaks down bombshell findings. Finally get an update from DOGE. I was just saying a couple days ago, I haven't heard anything about DOGE ever since the social security number stuff came up. Now we finally got an update. It is mildly entertaining. Go ahead and hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Federal Reserve is getting a $2.5 billion makeover. The new digs have been described as Washington's Palace of Versailles, with rooftop garden terraces, skylights, and VIP elevators. Well, Elon Musk says the Fed's plans are eyebrow-raising and should get doged. Speaking of, his Department of Government Efficiency has saved taxpayers $160 billion. While that is short of their goal of $1 trillion in savings, the group says they are far from done, and they continue to publicize some of their crazy findings, like the Education Department's Party Fund.
There was a $4 billion COVID fund in the Department of Education, and there was no receipts required, so people could just draw down on it. And when people looked into it, this wasn't us, this was before us, they found that money was being used to rent out Caesar's Palace for parties, rent out stadiums, etc. And so the one change that DOGE made with the Department of Education is we had the simple requirement that if you draw down money, you must first upload a receipt. That was the only change that was made. You must upload your receipt. And upon doing so, yes, nobody drew down any money anymore.
Yes, but we didn't say that we'd check the receipt. You could send a fake receipt. You could send a picture of your dog. Anything. Anything. But as soon as we asked for anything at all, suddenly the requests were like, oh, we don't need it anymore. Huh, that's interesting.
And then the parties dried up. And the Small Business Administration actually giving money to George Jetson and dead people.
Is the Small Business Administration giving loans to dead people, people over the age of 120? The answer was yes, and it was around $330 million in total. So
people with a birthday that could not possibly be real.
Yeah.
Meaning they're over 100. They're 115 years old or older. The oldest living American is 114. So it's safe to say if anybody is in the system as 115 years or older, that is fake.
So just by sharing a database and looking at Social Security numbers that showed that at the time of the loan, they had listed as over 115 years old, or actually under 11. We didn't even check for under 18.
Babies and dead
under 11 years old. That's pretty clear.
Babies
right?
and dead people were getting loans.
That was $660 million.
Yeah, and Maria, they were even giving them to people who had yet to be born. They made up birthdays in the year 2165.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I know that all of these people were on the rolls, but we don't actually know that they took in the benefits, right? That they took in that money. So, go ahead, Lauren.
That's the part that is very difficult to find out. So they're uncovering it, but they haven't necessarily followed the money.
Yeah. So John, I mean, that's the crux. The fact that they're on the rolls is already ridiculous. I mean, they shouldn't be on the rolls. That it sets you up for failure right there. But once we know if they actually took the money, then it even becomes a bigger conversation in terms of, did they know it, that that's not their money and they're taking the money? So bottom line, this is a huge waste of money, John.
It's a huge waste of money, and I'm troubled by the fact that it took so long to investigate this waste and fraud, to bring this to the attention of the American people. Why is it? Why was this tolerated for so long?
Michael.
When I was in the state legislature for 17 years, I never voted for a tax increase. Why? Because I always said, are we spending the money the way we tell our taxpayers we're spending them? Because obviously here, what you're doing is you're eroding any confidence of the American public that the government actually knows what they're doing when it comes to spending money. And what I love, Maria, is to think, $1 billion here, but that's not a big deal. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. Well, when you get up to $36 trillion in debt, you realize you're talking about real money, taxpayer money. Thank you for that.
I don't know if she got some lip filler or what, but her lips were like throwing up gang signs and shit while she was talking. Anyways, they made it kind of confusing at the end there. They spent the beginning of the video showing Elon and the rest of the DOGE team talking about their uncoverings, 160 billion doll hairs in 160 days that they have recovered from fraud and waste and all of that stuff. And they talk about how they found it and people who aren't born yet and people who are more than 115 years old have been getting approved for loans and doing all kinds of fraudulent stuff, and they weren't even checking it. There was no way to even validate it, which is really crazy because every time I do anything with any form of government, I'm always worried that something's going to be screwed up. Now we know they don't even check it. Whatever's just whatever. We could have been getting free money this whole damn time. Anyways, like I said, we got another video related to the same topic that we're going to play right now. It's more entertaining than that part. I don't know why they had to make it all confusing at the end. They said, well, we don't know if they're spending it. If you get approved for a loan, you're probably going to spend it. Like, I don't know what they were trying to say with that end part there. Either way, this is titled Big Balls of DOGE Speaks.
Who's Big Balls?
It's me. That should be obvious.
Why do they call you Big Balls?
I just said it as my LinkedIn username.
Okay.
Well, people on LinkedIn take themselves like super seriously, and they're pretty adverse to risk. And I was like, well, I want to be neither of those things. So I said it, and honestly, I didn't even think anyone would notice.
Yeah.
So what do you
LinkedIn
do?
is so cringe.
What does Big Balls do?
Right now, I'm working on some payment computer stuff. So one of our initiatives is to root out fraud and waste. And to do that, we started looking at the payment computers. And as mentioned earlier, like there is no accounting of what payments actually go to in the payment computer. So like you look at a specific line item, like $20 million. And you're like, okay, well, what is this money going to? And for the majority of payment systems, it's like, well, we don't really know. And
yeah, they're like, what? That would be the response.
Is this the most basic responses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most common response.
What do you say when people just say, I don't know?
Well, it's a huge cause for concern because like the upstream thing, which is distributing the money, literally has no checks and no accountability to the actual American taxpayer. So it's a huge vector for fraud, waste, and abuse.
Do these people not respect taxpayer money?
I mean, there's no incentive to if you work in the government. I think the incentives will always decide the outcomes.
Yes.
Do you guys feel like you're putting yourself at risk by doing this because you're stirring up so much hostility by these people ripping us off?
100%. Well, we don't need to speculate about that. You can see online in the protests that they make that very clear. I mean, I've been hanged in effigy many times. And there have been people that have actively advocated at these violent protests for my death, and have also advocated for the death of the people at DOGE.
I think the young folks of us.
Okay. Nice little meeting they had there with DOGE and Jesse Waters. Good stuff. I still wonder what they're going to do with all this money that they're recovering. Are they going to pay the debt with it? Or are they going to spend it wisely? But what are they going to do? I highly doubt they're going to give it back to us. And I'd like to hear them wind down these taxes so we're paying them less. Because we've been paying all this money thinking that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And now we're finding out that they're spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on dumb shit. And most of it leads back to their own pockets. Which means that we're paying too much in taxes. If they have so much money that they can run the country and run that money right to their wallets. So they need to do something about it, and I'm sure they will. I'm just interested to hear what that's going to be. Anyways, next up, Trump cuts funding to PBS and NPR. They're saying that they're going to be cutting this funding because those companies are biased. They also are going to be mentioning that Harvard's tax exemption status is being threatened by President Trump. Then at the end, they talk about the stock market being in good standing right now, even though the Blue News is constantly saying that we're about to go into a recession. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about DOGE. Jay Spray, he said, I have 2 little balls. I don't know, he's a young guy. I knew that he was young. I never seen who Big Balls was when that first came out. It was all over X. I never seen who he was. He looks like some little 18-year-old. He must be pretty smart if he's working for DOGE, though. Zero, all this wasteful spending, we are paying too much in taxes. Yeah. They need to, well, they probably will apply it to the debt, but obviously they need to do something about how much we pay in taxes, because they ain't, like, the Biden administration was hurting the country. They weren't helping the country. You know, they weren't paying for Border Patrol to protect the border. They had that border wide open. The Border Patrol they had was letting illegals in. So obviously we're giving them too much money. They're overpaid for what their job is. Guess I'm love this meeting. Yeah, it's pretty badass. Like I was just saying a couple days ago, we haven't heard anything as far as an update for DOGE, so it was nice to see these clips coming out and stuff. And they're still finding fraud, waste, and abuse and all of that, but nobody's been arrested. That's the only like kind of shitty thing about it, is they know that this is happening. They know that the Democrats and all these other people are involved, but then nothing happens. They're just like, well, this money's being misused, we're going to pull it back. And like, yeah, but what's going to stop them from committing fraud later? What's going to stop them from waiting till DOGE is gone and then just do more fraud? Guess I'm 1.7 trillion in student loans outstanding. I want that money. They're saying that they're coming after that next. I'm glad I've been paying on my student loans, but all those yahoos that thought they were getting student loan forgiveness from Biden, they haven't been paying on their student loans. And really, a part of me feels like they shouldn't even be held accountable, because they were told by the President of the United States that they didn't have to worry about that shit, that it was going to be taken care of. Even when it was being challenged by the Supreme Court, the White House kept coming out and saying, no, don't you worry, we're going to pay your student loans off for you and all that. And obviously that didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. So all these people defaulted their loans because they fell for a con man in the White House, right? So, I mean, if you were dumb enough to believe Biden, that is. And so I kind of feel like it's the White House's fault that there's so many, I can't even think of what it's called. There's another phrase from outstanding, but default. They're defaulting on their loans and stuff. But they were advised from the White House to not worry about it because they were going to pave the way. And that didn't happen. I never wanted their free doll hairs, so I just kept paying. I pay $200 a month on my student loans, and so I don't have to worry about it. But Trump's about to crack down on it, and all these liberals are going to be butthurt about it, just like they were a couple of years ago. They were out there pissing and moaning because the Supreme Court was standing in the way of it. And they were saying, well, who's going to pay my student loans? Well, you shouldn't have signed up for that if you didn't want to pay it off. Yes, fuck them. Work it off in the fields vacated by illegals. Yeah, they're going to have to go and get a job. Zero. Yeah, they believe the prez. They should get reprieve to catch up, like 6 months or something. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, if they just really default, they're going to garnish their wages. They're going to take their taxes. They're not going to make any doll hairs until they pay it back. Jay Spray, at least they can't repo their education. Yeah, that's true. But if they get hit so bad that they're getting their wages garnished and all of that, they're not going to be able to afford to live. And I wonder how that's going to turn into radicalism, because you know it will. Guess Jasmine Crockett owes $50K. AOC owes over $90K in loans. Yeah, I owe $42,000 in my student loans, but I'm actually paying mine off. What's up, Bill Clay? Happy freedom. Pumpkin, happy freedom to you. Bobby, I'm not going to read that out loud, but that's funny. That's just a funny statement. Why are you guys talking about bees? I thought you were talking about boobies, but no, you're talking about honeybees. Now I'm confused. Sly Dog is team of true patriots. They're getting shit done. I don't think they get enough credit for it. Shroomish, is he Elon's kid? I mean, you never know. Elon's got like 20 kids. We only see X. We only see little X. We don't ever see the other ones. Well, he's got one that's a shapeshifter, but he's disowned that one. What's up, Spicy K? Happy freedom to you. Stoner Fudge, I should have been frauding. Yeah, see, if we weren't good people, we could have been frauding the government, and they wouldn't have even known. They'd have just gave you a loan for $20 million, and you'd have been good for your small business of walking your neighbor's dog or whatever you file the application for. I can't believe it's harder to get a loan from the bank than it is to get a loan from the government. That's crazy. What's up, Puffin Stuff? Happy Freedom. Meta, they're cracking down. They are. I'm glad that, they're at least able to do that. The judges did stand in the way. They were trying to get a hold of more data for the Social Security numbers. I think they were trying to figure out who was causing the fraud, because they had millions of numbers that were being used older than the age of like 120 or 130 or something like that. And they wanted to learn more information, and a judge stood in the way and said that they didn't need any more information on Social Security numbers. And that was the last that we had heard about DOGE until this just happened. So it's good that they don't just stop, that they're actually moving from department to department and trying to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. What's up, Southern Eagleman? Happy Freedom. What's up, Lone Wolf? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Teasel? Porcupine, wait until there's nothing on the shelves and see how things get. I've been waiting 5 years for that to happen. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I was worried about it in 2020. I ain't worried about it now. What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy Freedom. Devin, did Big Balls squash him when he's sitting down? You know how that goes. Sitting down on those park benches too fast, it'll get you. It'll get you. Lone Wolf, mad because stupid courses they took are not worth crap. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The liberals are going to blame Trump. Trump's cracking down on that student loan, and they're going to blame him instead of blaming themselves for not paying on it, or blaming old man Walter because he convinced them that he was going to forgive their loans. It's always misplaced blame when it comes to the liberals on the left. It's just the way it is. They're too stupid to know who to be mad at. What's up, Mr. Satan? Happy Freedom to you. Dictum, Maria. That voice. Yikes. Yeah. I don't know why she put lip filler in, though. She spent the whole video looking like she had a butthole on her face. Poor girl. Did to herself. What's up, Rhonda? Happy Freedom. What's up, Wayward? Happy Freedom to you. Spicy K. There's steps to not paying back student loans, but it's time consuming. There is for like legitimate ways to get out of your student loans. They have like I can't remember what it's called. There's something that I have access to where if I don't want to pay my student loans, I can file this application saying that the school did not give me what it provided. And so like when I went to school, they promised that we would get jobs in our field. They were like, we are going to help you get jobs, but they don't. They do not help. They help you put together a resume. That is not the same thing as helping you get a job. And so I could file this paperwork and have the $42,000 in student loans wiped and all of that and be like, free of my student loan debt. But I like the education I got. I feel like I got what I paid for, and I wasn't really intending on working for anybody else anyways. So I haven't gone through the steps of that. But for the student loan forgiveness stuff, they were acting like that was just going to happen automatically. And even when I would log into my federal student loans, they would say, wait until this day to see if your loans are going to be covered by the student loan forgiveness and whatever. But instead of doing that, I just set up my payments, and I've been making payments, and that's it. No Wolf paid off your student loan debt 2 years ago. Proud of that. Hell yeah, Lone Wolf. I can't wait to pay mine off. I'll be like 60, but I'm not going to let them default. What's up, AR16? Happy Freedom. Guess I should run this country. You should. Meta, you calling Klaus? He's been sleeping for a while. I imagine he'll be up and around pretty soon. Stacy, my school promised a job but never followed through. What is the link? You have to log into your student loans. I don't know if you got to go through FAFSA or whatever. Just log into your student loans. It'll be right at the top. They offer it to everybody. I don't know why they do, but they do. It'll be listed wherever the website is that holds your student loans. When you log in, you'll see the information. Dictum. I joined the Navy and learned my trade. Retired at 55. Badass. Porcupine retired at 52. I'll never retire. I'll work until I'm dead. It's just my generation, though. Unless we become millionaires, everybody my age will work until they die. But I ain't mad at it. I like making money more than doing anything else. Anyways, well, almost anything else. Next up, Trump cuts funding to PBS and NPR. I think they should have been done this. I don't understand why we were funding fake news anyways. That doesn't make sense to me. I imagine in the beginning is because we needed press. We needed somebody to tell the world what was happening. And I mean, we still need that, but at this time we got independent press. And so with independent press, I don't think we need government funded press. It's just my opinion. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube, and let's get into this.
Head of PBS is speaking out against President Donald Trump's latest move to slash funding for the broadcaster. Fox 5's Sharon Crowley live in the newsroom with the very latest on all of this. Sharon.
Yeah, there's a lot happening this morning, Bianca. President Trump signed an executive order cutting federal money to PBS and NPR. The president alleges bias in the broadcasters' reporting. But PBS's CEO reacting just a short time ago, saying this order, quote, threatens our ability to serve the American public with educational programming, something we've done for the past 50 years. Now, on social media, the president posting, quote, these outlets receive millions from taxpayers to, quote, spread radical woke propaganda and disguised as news. Now, this is the latest move from the Trump administration to utilize the federal powers that he has to control institutions whose viewpoints he opposes. Now, PBS reportedly receives 16% of its funding from the government. NPR's is less than 1%. In a hearing just last month before the House DOGE committee, we heard from the head of PBS and NPR defending their outlets.
PBS programming and the services that local stations provide bring Americans together. It is valued, needed, and trusted by the American people.
Well, the cuts keep coming. President Trump also posting on Truth Social this morning that the federal government will be taking away Harvard's tax-exempt status. It comes after the president asked the IRS to look into the Ivy League school. The Trump administration believes that Harvard failed to address anti-Semitism on campus. And now let's take a live look at the stock market. If that's not enough news for you, Bianca, the jobs report came out this morning, and the numbers better than expected. The market is reacting positively as a result. Bianca, I'll send it back to you upstairs.
Glad to see that. Never enough news, Sharon.
That's
Glad
right.
You're always
I'm
reporting
collecting it.
Thanks so much.
Okay, kind of a plethora of news in that video there. Talking about how we're going to stop funding fake news, which is good. We don't need to do that. Then they talk about Harvard's tax exemption status is being threatened by President Trump. Now, I saw a couple other videos on that topic saying that President Trump doesn't necessarily have the ability to eliminate Harvard's tax exempt status, that it would be up to the IRS to make that decision, but we'll see how that goes. Harvard is constantly pissing off President Trump. Like a lot of these other Ivy League schools, we saw Yale had a pro-Hamas campus or encampment being built, and it only lasted till 11 o'clock at night, and they went out there and dispersed it because they're afraid of losing their federal funding. So Yale seems to be making an attempt to clean things up. Harvard, they're putting their heels in the ground, so President Trump's continuing to let them have it. And I like at the end of the video where they say, yeah, the stock market's actually doing really good. Oh, it is? Because all the rest of Blue News is constantly saying we're on the brink of a recession and all of this, like, just crazy stuff, fear-mongering, and there's people that believe it. And they're out there sharing that information, saying, oh, my God, I went and bought 15 pounds of rice because we're about to go in a recession and blah, blah. Well, good for you. Good for you. You're scared and stocked up on rice. Great. Next up, the Rochester police are actively looking into Shiloh Hendricks, and the local NAACP are calling for charges. Now, this is the video that's going around the internet right now where this woman is being followed around by an Indian dude who is claiming that she called another child the N-word. She was walking away from the playground with her child, not necessarily denying that she did that, but claiming that that kid had stole from her child and she just called that other child a name, called him the N-word, which is not good, but it's not a crime. And so now they're trying to turn this into a hate crime thing. The other thing is kind of controversial. They're not going to talk about this in this video, but it is part of the information that's circulating, is there's a lot of people claiming that the Indian dude that is recording her in this video, and you're not going to see the actual video, by the way, we can't play that on the live, but this is news talking about it. But like I'm saying, this controversial part is that some people are claiming that the Indian dude that is following her around, trying to hold her accountable for using hate speech, that he's supposedly a pedophile, that he is a CSE offender, and there's information circulating claiming that. I haven't been able to validate any of that. I don't know if he's a pedophile or not, but some claim that he is, although I don't know how they would know his name because it's not in the video and you can't see him in the video. But either way, this is hot video. It's going around right now. We got news on it. It's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about fake news being defunded, Harvard potentially losing their tax exemption, as well as the stock market doing good, despite the Blue News claiming that we're in the middle of, or we are heading towards a recession. Russell, plethora. That's a $5 word. Gal dang, I didn't know we had words worth doll hairs. Guess I'm plethora. My wife loves that word. I think you're alluding to something. Guess Zero, stop funding news programs, all of them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only thing that I think that could be funded that might be worthwhile is stuff that's coming out of the White House. If they wanted to, I don't know, provide we already got the press briefing, I guess. If they would put out like a channel or something that would talk about the latest shit coming out of the White House, regardless if Caroline Leavitt tells us or not, but just like an update that's like almost like the Weather Channel, where every 24 hours or so it gets updated with bullet points saying what the White House is doing. They could fund something like that if it was legit, as long as like the information's not fake, and just kind of have an ongoing scrolling board telling us, what is the White House doing with our tax dollars. I could see that as being press, but as far as paying PBS and all of that, especially when most of the time they're turning their back on Trump and he's currently the president, like, nah, we shouldn't be funding that. Russell, I've been calling for cutting funding to PBS and NPR for years. Yeah, Russell, it's finally happening. Era 16, no such thing as a hate crime. I think there is, though. No, I'm pretty sure there's laws against hate crimes. There's no laws against hate speech, though. Hate speech is free speech, whether people like it or not. Pumpkin, Joe already gave us a recession. We are fine now. Well, some were saying statistically it was comparable to the Depression. It was just that you couldn't visually see it because everything we do is online now. So instead of seeing people standing in bread lines, they're applying for food stamps on the internet. Instead of, standing in the unemployment line, you file for unemployment over the phone. And everybody's staring at their phones instead of, wallowing in their own sorrow. So a lot of people were saying when things were really bad and we had like $6 gas and all of that, that we were in a Great Depression. You just couldn't see it. It was just it didn't look the same as how it did when we heard about the Great Depression. Now, I don't know how true it is. That's just what a lot of people are saying. But I feel like things are doing a lot better now than they were. And we knew that when President Trump put tariffs on these countries that are putting tariffs on us, that it was going to cause an increase in prices, but it's a temporary increase because these companies are either going to lower tariffs against us in an effort to get us to lower tariffs on them because it's reciprocal, which will cause prices to come down, or those companies and countries will build manufacturing plants here so there is no tariffs. The goods are made here. We could buy those goods that are made here and get around paying that extra because of tariffs, because there is no tariffs. It's manufactured here. So no matter what, things should become cheaper. And everybody knew that. Everybody that voted for President Trump knew that was going to happen. But normies who didn't vote, or they voted blue like a bunch of idiots, they're the ones out there pushing that false agenda by the blue news. Era 16 added qualifiers are not necessary on an already identified crime. Hate speech is just a way to edit or shut down free speech. Yeah, but that's not the same thing as a hate crime. If you kill somebody because you're racist against that color, or if you kill somebody because they voted for Harris and you voted for Trump, that's a hate crime. But hate speech is not a crime. And that's the thing that's confusing normies. Is if someone says hate crime, they think that the law has been broken. It hasn't been. If you murder somebody, or you break into their car, or you break into their house because of their skin color or whatever it may be, that's considered a hate crime. It has a stiffer punishment because you were attacked without being provoked. It's different if you provoke somebody. You get in somebody's face, you do something to somebody and they do something worse to you, then that's just a crime. But if somebody comes after you because of a choice you made or your skin color, it's hate crime. But either way, hate speech is not a crime. Talking is not a crime. Just threatening, calls to action, things like that obviously are crimes, but everything else is free speech, even if it's ugly. Told to care Ivy League is too big for their britches. Yeah, you're right. They get all that money. I can't remember what they said. I think it was Harvard. And they said Harvard had like $52 billion just sitting on standby out of gifted money. So they're not hurting, you know. Shroomish, unless your speech supports terrorism. Well, that's what I mean. There's a few exceptions to free speech. If you comply with terrorism, you sympathize with terrorism, you say you're going to kill somebody, you say you're going to hurt somebody, you tell others to hurt somebody or kill somebody, that's, you know, and there's other limitations. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them, but yeah. Mac Day, does that mean no more Sesame Street? I don't know if they even have Sesame Street. Didn't they do away with it temporarily for some reason? They were saying it was racist or some shit like that back in 2020. What's up, Karma Carson? Happy freedom to you. Lone Wolf, GM is cutting production in Canada to raise hours here. Canada got. Yeah, they also build Toyotas in Canada, and I wonder what's going to happen with that. Dictum, I don't think there's any true Dems left, only Trump haters. It seems that way. It seems like Republicans are just politicians, Democrats are radicals, and then there's like Trump supporters, Trump haters, and then normies who just don't know shit about anything because they just choose not to. What's up, Dirtbike Freedom? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Bug Farmer? Happy freedom to you. Wayward. My girl wanted plethora for her birthday. I gave her pathetic instead. Been on the couch ever since. Yeah, Wayward. That happens. That happens sometimes. Anyways, let's go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one is Rochester police are actively looking into Shiloh Hendricks, and the local NAACP are calling for charges. Now, this is nonsense. They can't press charges on her. She didn't do anything. They had a verbal interaction where nobody threatened anybody, and it was recorded, and that was it. Now, she said some things that maybe she shouldn't have said. She's being a little racist, but it's still covered under free speech, which makes this video kind of ridiculous. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
KPTC is reaching out to law enforcement in the wake of a video going viral on social media that was reportedly recorded in Rochester, and many of our viewers have contacted us about it. There is a video circulating on multiple social media platforms that was reportedly recorded at a park in Rochester. The video shows a woman holding a small child making racist slurs in reference to another child at the playground who she claims had taken something that belongs to her child. The person recording the video alludes to the child being targeted as having special needs. KTTC does not own the rights to this video, nor are we choosing to identify anyone until more information comes to light. We can now confirm Rochester police have received multiple calls about the video and are actively looking into the matter. The Rochester branch of the NAACP released a statement today about the video, saying it is outraged and deeply disturbed by the incident, saying in part, quote, "We call on the City of Rochester Police Department, the City of Rochester's City Attorney's Office, and Olmsted County Attorney's Office to launch a full investigation and to file all appropriate charges," end quote.
Okay, so like I said, two grown-ass adults yelling names at each other in this video. Now, of course, they claim that she said a racist slur to a child, which is despicable, but it's not a crime. And so I don't know what exactly the police are going to investigate. She's mean. She says bad words. I mean, I don't know they can't do anything. There's nothing they can actually do about it. They can't even give her a warning, really, over this situation. She just said things that aren't nice, and the internet's getting all butthurt about it. So I don't know. It's a really weird situation because I can't even really cover as much information as out there about this because of all the racist slurs around it. I would get in trouble playing this crap on the live. But she's raised like a couple $100,000 now. She did a GoFundMe, just like Carmelo Anthony's family did. And she put out there that a child stole from her child. She called that child an N-word and grabbed her kid and left. And now she's being targeted because the Indian dude recorded her and she called him the N-word and flipped him off and did all this other stuff. Now she's being attacked and she needs funding. And so they're donating to the point where she's probably going to become a millionaire over this. And so obviously people don't like that, just like everyone got mad when Carmelo Anthony's family raised $500,000 after stabbing a kid. People are mad that she's making almost $1 million after saying the N-word, and so everybody's all mad. Now, the police can't do anything about any of this. This is stupid. It's stupid to say the police are going to do anything. It's just mad people on the internet. That's really where we are. Now, it is fueling racism. I'm seeing a lot of people be pretty open about their racism on the internet today. But that's their business. It's still not illegal. Next up, snowboarder goes from the Olympics to the FBI's most wanted list. I've never heard of this person, but apparently he's some drug kingpin now, which I really wonder how did that happen. He runs cocaine from Mexico to the U.S. to Canada, and now they got a bounty on his head, the feds do, if you can find any information on this guy. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this interesting situation here where the Rochester police are now getting involved. Josh1776, go look at the comments of the donations. I've seen it. I've been looking at it all day. All day. I've seen the comments. I've seen the screenshots. I've seen all the shit that people are saying. I don't know what to make of it. It's a little situation that is becoming a really big situation. People say racist slurs every single day, but she got it right at the right time. She's going to be a millionaire now, and it's really just bad behavior all the way around. I don't think there was any winners in that situation. Jay Spray, I feel like the word, I don't know. I could probably say cracker. You never know with YouTube and Twitch around. Russell, it's total BS, not illegal. It's wrong, but yeah. She's just, and it's no winners. That's it. Because the thing is the Indian dude who's following her around with a phone in her face, calling her out or whatever. Some thinks that it was his kid that was called the N-word. And so, everybody's going to be mad regardless. Somebody calls your kid the N-word, you're going to be mad. It's just all there is to it. But some people think that it wasn't his kid, that it was some third party's kid, and this guy just got involved for no reason. So, I don't know. But like I said, I'm sure this happens at the mall every day. I'm sure this happens at local playgrounds every day. It's really not that big of a deal. What will be a big deal is if they actually arrest her. If they go and arrest her over this, that is a big deal because she has the freedom of speech. She can say that. She didn't threaten anybody's life. She called somebody names, and then she gets arrested. That's going to be a big deal. This ain't the UK. They can't just go arrest her over saying nothing. Snooks, it's not right, in my opinion, that she's making that kind of money for doing it, though. Well, it might not be right, but it's not illegal. It's the same thing as she could have went out there and said, here's my Cash App. I like saying the N-word. And then all of a sudden, they donate $900,000 to her. It's not like she was awarded that money. People who apparently like saying it are donating to her. I don't know. I don't really know why they're donating, but a lot of people are. Jay Spray, ignorance is ignorance no matter your skin color. Yeah, I agree. Appeal to heaven until people can say the wrong words to others, we will have racism. I guess. I don't know. I think it matters on how much people care. I think if nobody cared, if somebody called you, I don't know what to say because everything's racist now. If somebody called you chapstick and you get bent out of shape, well, then you feel like that's racism. But if you don't get bent out of shape and you're just like, well, you just made your mouth say noises, I feel like then it's not a big deal. It's the outrage that makes the difference. Total care. Seems to me the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Name calling. That's all. I just see it as name calling. I don't know. I get called all kinds of stuff every single damn day. And so I don't know. Words are words. AR-16, the bigger crime is doxing. Yeah, doxing is a problem. Doxing is a big problem. What's up, Winston? Happy freedom. AR-16, AT&T was down for 2.5 hours this morning. I called them and told them I will expect to see a refund for downtime on my bill. Yeah, AR-16, they should do that. Internet should do that too. They should. They absolutely should. Especially if it's for a while. Stoner over 300K. I'm not sure what the number is now. I seen a screenshot that said 100K, and it was like 9 hours ago at the time. It's probably like 12 hours ago now. But some people were saying she's on the way to $1 million. And that was before it got the way it is now. Now it's like super viral. My entire timeline on X, that's all it is. It's just talking about that story right there. And so the more of that happens, the more people that are going to donate. Totally care. Bert and Ernie have always been gay. That's what they say. Winston, chapstick is a slur in Colorado. See, I knew it. knew there was going to be something wrong with it. I'm sure Klaus calls me racist names all the time. I just can't tell. Hair juicer, chapstick would be a hurtful insult. I mean, I guess. I didn't realize. I should watch my filthy hooligan mouth. Jay Spray, if we were supposed to watch our tongue, our eyes would be in our mouth. It's true. Kung Fu a Snuffleupagus? That was way better than chapstick. Prop Picture Girl, you were doxxed and it's horrible. Yeah. We've covered a lot of people being doxxed over the last 5 years. Back when Antifa was running the streets every single day, we were constantly watching people get doxxed. Lone Wolf, Sticks and Stones. That's right. Lone Wolf, she's loving it, was laughing when seeing her in the video. It wasn't his kid, it was another kid that she thought was autistic. Yeah. See, and that's the most common version of the story that I've heard is that right there. Yeah, and she was not worried about it. She was smiling and laughing at him while he was trying to call her out. Vinny C, racism will always exist. Toughen up. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the gender stuff, right? People, the ongoing battle if boys or girls are better than the other and blah, 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 blah. So then the left tried to eliminate boys and girls and to try and get away from that. And it's like, nah, it didn't work. You got to just get over that shit. As long as there's differences, there will be people who have problems over those differences. It's just like football teams, baseball teams, who you vote for, whether you got a wiener or not, what color you are, what color your hair is, how much hair you have, so on and so forth. As long as there's differences, there will be people fucking butthurt over it. And it's just too bad. It's just too bad. No, Wolf, she told him to mind your own business. Yeah, and that's a big problem, is that people these days do not know how to mind their own business. Josh 1776, I definitely can't read that out loud. Pumpkin, where's Klaus? I don't know. I ain't seen him in like an hour. He's got to be sleeping somewhere, but he's not going to sleep this whole life away. I know that. What's up, Kevin? Happy Freedom. No Wolf. Are you into gaming at all? Wondering if I could do a hooligan game sesh someday. Super Smash Bros. 7 Days to Die. Risk of Rain. Helldivers. We could do Helldivers. I can't play Smash Brothers. It makes me mad. It makes me too mad. I get pissed off. I want to throw the controller and stuff. I play Helldivers though. I haven't played in a while. I've been busy, but we are going to get hooligan gaming going again. We have a gaming channel that we were working on for a while. But then it was one problem after another with some other things going on in my life, and we had to cut that out. And then President Trump was doing 5 rallies a day because the election was going on, and then I'm working on getting back into gaming. But Lone Wolf, do you play on computer? Let me see. I can't remember what Helldivers is on. I know it's on computer. I can't remember if it's either on Xbox or PlayStation. Maybe it's only PlayStation. Either way, send me an email, Lone Wolf. Or if you're in any of the communities, write me a message and we'll figure out how to game. All right, hooligans, we're going to move on to this next one. Like I said, snowboarder goes from Olympics to the FBI's most wanted list. We got a snowboarder drug kingpin. And it seems like a leap. I don't know if the CIA is involved in this, but it just seems really weird that this guy goes from being an Olympian athlete to being one of the biggest drug kingpins in the area. At least that's what they make it sound like. It seems like if he was real big, the cartel would smoke him. But they also say that he's kind of got connections to the cartel. So how do you go from skiing down slopes to being connected to the cartel? That just, I don't know. So Andy's white, so like I have a lot of questions. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Ryan Wedding once represented Canada on the world's biggest stage, competing in the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. But investigators say his life took a dangerous turn after his athletic career ended.
He went from being a competitive snowboarder, very driven, very successful, to essentially an alleged drug kingpin that's operating in Mexico. That landed him on the FBI's list of 10 most wanted fugitives.
Officials allege that Wedding built and led a transnational drug empire, trafficking hundreds of kilos of cocaine across North America between January and August of 2024.
He operated from Mexico and other places in Central America and then moved tons of cocaine into the United States and Canada. He is estimated to have made hundreds of millions of dollars from the criminal enterprise that he operated.
According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, drugs were smuggled from Mexico to Los Angeles, stored in stash houses, and then moved to Canada in long-haul trucks.
It's a massive operation. We estimate it's somewhere around a $1 billion a year enterprise.
And federal agents say Wedding didn't just traffic drugs. They believe he ordered murder hits to protect his empire.
We also believe he orchestrated multiple murders in Canada, and these were retaliatory in nature. So in some cases for rivals, in some cases over a drug debt.
His alleged partner, Andrew Clark, was captured in Mexico last October and extradited to the U.S. But Wedding remains on the run. Authorities say Wedding has deep ties to criminal networks in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, and he may be using those connections to stay hidden. He's also believed to be using fake IDs and multiple aliases.
He uses nicknames like El Jefe or Public Enemy, James Conrad King, or Jesse King.
The State Department is offering $10 million for information leading to his capture, on top of the FBI's $50,000 reward. That type of cash sends a clear message. This guy isn't just dangerous, he's a priority.
We believe he's a very dangerous individual, again, being protected by the drug cartels, and we need to get Ryan Wedding in custody before someone else is killed.
The FBI also told us they believe that Ryan Wedding may have undergone plastic surgery to change his appearance, which would make him even harder to track down. But Mark, Charla, I mean, going from this top elite competitor to notorious fugitive, it's certainly not a career path you see every day, yet that's exactly what we have here.
I mean, Jason, it's just a wild story from Olympian to alleged drug kingpin. I mean, does the FBI know why he allegedly made this turn from world-class athlete to world-class criminal?
Yeah, right now they can only speculate. We all have the same question. They believe that he just saw a golden opportunity to make serious piles of cash, and he took that mindset of and drive of becoming an obsessive Olympian and applied it to building his own criminal empire.
All right.
All right. Very interesting. You don't see that every day. Okay. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Weird. I still don't understand how he made the transition, though. I don't get that. When I was younger and involved with criminal assholes and stuff, if you look like you play sports, we wouldn't talk to you. I didn't know anybody would talk to you. Because if anybody was going to snitch on you, it'd be some white guy named Ryan who likes playing sports, who wants to be an athlete. That's usually who you do not sell drugs to. It's people like that. And so I really wonder, how did he go from being an Olympic snowboarder with fame, and I'm sure he got money and all that stuff, to being connected to the cartels and to getting drug dealers to trust him and all of that. I don't understand how that happened. It just seems really weird. One does not just become a drug kingpin. If it was that easy, if you just had to put your mind to it, everybody would do that. You see how many women are out here selling feet pics and shit? Everybody wants easy money. And that's what they kind of made it sound like. They're like, well, he just saw all the money he could make, and so he went and made it. Like, I don't know. That sounds really weird to me, especially to be international, to do it, you know, from Mexico to the U.S. to Canada, and to even call hits and stuff like that. It just seems really weird. He went from an Olympian athlete to what they would consider a drug kingpin. And they can't even find him right now. They think he had plastic surgery to change his appearance, which is really weird too. Imagine getting your face done and then going and looking at people who know you and they don't know you because your face is new. That's got to be a weird experience. I don't know. Very strange. Either way, next up we have U.S. judges' latest move hindering the Trump administration's deportation agenda. They're now going to require ICE to have warrants before arresting illegals. And I don't know if they're trying to do this to get away from the, what were they calling it? Not casualties, collaterals. If they're trying to bust a Tren de Aragua gang member and they know he stays, you know, at this house, they go into the house, they find 9 other people that are illegal, but they were going after the one guy that's Tren de Aragua, they would arrest all 10 people. All 10 people are being deported. And the news would say they found 1 gang member and 9 collaterals. That's how they've been labeling it lately. With this judge's decision, they now have to have warrants. So that means if they had a warrant for that one Tren de Aragua member, they go into the house, they find 9 illegals, and the 10th guy is the TDA member, they can only arrest the TDA member. They are not able to arrest the other 9 individuals because they don't have a warrant. So that's what's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this snowboarding drug kingpin. Hold on. Okay. Zero, they may have approached him with traveling for the sport. He could have made stuff easier without suspicion. Maybe that's what it was. Being having access to being international. Maybe he can get his equipment and stuff like that through maybe customs and whatnot. Being with a team of individuals, maybe he had ease of access. So I mean, I guess I could see that. Tori Wayne, he wasn't targeted by the police because he's white. Well, what I was trying to say is I don't understand why the cartel would want to do business with some preppy white guy who's involved in sports. That's usually not who you want to be connected to. But he must have proved himself one way or another. Otherwise, criminals wouldn't come near him. There must have been something he was involved in that made criminals meet him and become comfortable with him in order to get him involved in the criminal activity that they had going on. Jay Spray, snowboarders don't look like athletes. They look like stoner skateboarders. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Jay Spray, guarantee he knows some good lawyers. Oh, absolutely. He's probably got access to a crazy legal team. Pumpkin, I think he was an idiot for getting involved in the cartels. Absolutely. I do not know why I can't clear my fucking throat. Jesus loves us. Yeah, and if he was being used by the cartels, it was probably only a matter of time before he gets smoked. Maybe that's why he's on the run. Maybe he ran out of luck, and now that he's wanted, maybe the cartel's not going to help him anymore, and he's on his own. Pager Dad, happy freedom. You still skate and turn 52 this month? That's badass. I used to skate, but I never got any good at it, and I kept busting my shins and ankles up. What's up, Cricket Kiss? Happy freedom. Pager Dad El Jefe. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, how did Ryan get to be El Jefe? Totally care, dude had bills to pay. That's one way to do it. I don't know, totally care. I'm sitting here dying. I don't know what the hell is going on. I think my sinuses are kicking my ass. So I woke up with a terrible headache that won't go away. I got crazy brain fog. My eyes are all swollen. Now I can't hardly talk. It's like, I don't know what the hell is attacking me right now. Devin, he's a hooligan. El Jefe Mac. No, he's not a hooligan. He is something else, especially if he's cartel related. Mayor's Happy Freedom. I wish it was a hairball. It's not. I'm in my last moments. I just don't realize it yet. Lone Wolf. That's bullshit, though. Law was that if they're domestic terrorists, they're not needing a warrant then. Yeah, Lone Wolf. And I think that it'll still be that way. I think that if I could talk, it would be a lot easier. I think if it is Tren de Aragua or MS-13, they won't need a warrant. But if they have collaterals, then they will need a warrant. So like I'm saying, if they're after one guy and they got a warrant for him, and the other 9 illegals in the house are not gang members, which they probably would be, they won't be able to pick them up until a judge makes a different decision. Nobilis, he must have gained respect somehow through the cartel leaders. I mean, had to have. He didn't just walk up in there and go, hey, I'm famous. I want to be a drug dealer. And the cartel was like, yeah, man, we needed a white guy. Hell yeah. You could sign up for the job now, bro. Like, I'm sure that's not how it went. He must have been involved in illegal activity somehow to get the trust of these people. And I believe they were probably using him, whether he knows that or not. But he would have been a useful idiot. Because of his skin color, because of his connections being a famous snowboarder, he'd have been a real useful idiot. I like it however I can get it, Proud Patriot Girly. What's up, Shauna Vision? Happy Freedom. Hair Juicer, I love caster boarding, no speed wobbles when you bomb hills. I've never heard of caster boarding. I'm gonna have to look that up after the live. It's probably something terrible that I just said out loud in front of everybody. I'm gonna Google it later. It's gonna involve buttholes or something. Oh well. It says what it is. No, I can't eat Halls Zero. It makes me throw up. All cough drops make me throw up. I don't know why. I don't know what's in it, but it makes me immediately throw up. Anyways, moving forward here, like I said, U.S. judge's latest move hindering the Trump administration's deportation agenda. And they're just going to keep doing this. And then after 4 years of standing in the way, they'll say, Trump didn't even do anything. I'm like, yeah. Anyways, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Beyond, though, the Kilmar case, the pushback against President Trump's immigration crackdown is continuing with a U.S. federal judge in California banning the Border Patrol from arresting illegal aliens without a warrant. This seems nuts to me, but here's a bit more from Fox News.
Yesterday, California District Judge Jennifer Thurston demanded CBP agents cannot arrest suspected illegal migrants without a warrant or reason to believe the person is a flight risk before they can get one.
Jenny, walk me through this here. If they are illegally in the country, why does the Border Patrol need to go to a judge to get a warrant?
Sure, and being someone who's illegally in the country without ties to the community is already technically considered a flight risk by these federal agents. A lot of times they do have civil arrest warrants, but they're operating in a state like California where their hands are tied. I mean, I have sources who deal with these issues all the time, who are in these sanctuary states, who are stymied by the judges that are in their jurisdictions. This is something that continues to actually hinder the Trump administration's mass deportation agenda. And it actually allows a lot of these illegal immigrants to find hiding places across the country. So in California, for example, the ICE agents there have a much harder time making arrests, just in general, across the board, not just in this case. But they have this policy where they cannot do what's called knock and talks. This is something they do in other areas of the country. They'll be able to go after a target knowing that their last known address is a certain home or apartment complex. They'll knock on the door. They'll be able to talk to whoever's there and try to determine without incident or without, a risk of an incident by just talking to the individuals there and trying to get someone nabbed without going out into the community, essentially going out onto the street and having to pull people over. This is not allowed in California. This is something that the ACLU push forward. It's something that is, again, it's hamstringing their abilities to make arrests. And this is something that continues to be a problem on top of this issue of Border Patrol not being able to make arrests in this county where this judge is. They're continually seeing that sanctuary jurisdictions are pushing back against the Trump administration more and more. And the Trump administration, of course, is also pushing back and trying to threaten these jurisdictions with prosecution, with withholding funding. And so it's a battle right now between the two.
And I think the border czar, Tom Homan, earlier today said something very much suggesting that there's going to be a major move in terms of dealing with some of these sanctuary jurisdictions. Have you heard that? And have you heard of anything that might be coming down towards these jurisdictions?
Well, we know the Trump administration has already started to push forward lawsuits against sanctuary jurisdictions. I mean, they sued the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois. So that's the governor there, the mayor there, Cook County, which is notorious for releasing illegal immigrants into the community there. So they've already set their sights on some areas of the country, and they've already pushed back on some jurisdictions that have pushed back on their efforts. And so it's kind of been a tit for tat, but we'll see what these efforts produce. And yes, it's my understanding that they will continue to do this.
Well, we'll see. But also, finally, I just want to ask you about this insane case here of Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan, who has been suspended by the Wisconsin Supreme Court after she was accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities. Now, I've spoken about this case before, but this just seems like it gets worse and worse.
Right. I mean, a judge is supposed to be an impartial person in the court, to be able to hear both sides of a case, to be able to allow for individuals seeking justice to feel as though they are getting a fair shake. In this case, you have a judge who is allowing and actually helping allegedly cover up an illegal immigrant from ICE. They showed up at the courthouse. They were waiting for this individual who actually has a rap sheet to come out of the court and to make an arrest, trying to do so, where they knew he was. And this judge tried to escort him allegedly out of a back door where she knew that they weren't waiting. She had been in communication with her staffers who had tipped her off about this allegedly.
Unbelievable.
And so we're learning. Yeah, it's unbelievable, hearing the testimony here and reading the affidavits of this story and what allegedly went down here. I mean, this is someone who tried to allegedly shield an illegal immigrant at the end of the day from federal immigration authorities. And this is not just someone who's here illegally. This is someone who has a record here, who's in the court for a reason, of course.
And that reason was alleged domestic violence. Jenny Terre, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much. But check out her stuff in the New York Post. She's fantastic.
Okay. Anyways. Judges constantly standing in the way of the Trump agenda, which is what we all voted for. The majority of America wanted Trump to do what he was going to do, and the biggest promise he made that he stated every single time he went live was the mass deportation. We all wanted it. And for some reason, these judges, every way they can, stands in the way. It is so annoying. The very last little bit of the news we got is that these judges, just like this woman here, are being threatened. They're having threats against their life. It's not coming up next. It's coming up in a little bit. But you have more than half of America choose for this agenda to get rolled out. They all stand in the way. They don't deserve to be threatened, but they got to understand why people are mad. We voted to have the illegals put on the outside of the country where they belong. They don't belong here. They didn't come here legitimately. We pay taxes. We're supposed to follow the laws, but we're supposed to hang out with people who broke into the country, who broke the law to get here. That doesn't make any sense. And it's even worse when it's judges like these two that were recently arrested for aiding and abetting illegals, or judges like this one we just covered, where they are trying everything they can to keep illegals in the country. I don't understand how that's not treason. How that, you are directly going against what all of us want, what the president has stated, what he's signed in executive orders and all of that. All these agencies are getting paid with tax dollars to kick these people out of the country, and then these judges just cause problems the whole time. It may not be treason, but it seems like it should be illegal to some degree. and instead everybody just listens to what they have to say. I don't really get that. Either way, next up we got a follow-up video. It's kind of like two follow-up videos in one. It's titled, Trump and Nome have made this their top priority, Deputy ICE Director says. They're going to be talking about DeSantis, I fucking cannot say his damn name today. Ron's agenda that we covered yesterday. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, he has this Operation Tidal Wave that he has activated. It's his own little mass deportation that's happening in Florida. They're not just arresting the worst of the worst. They are arresting all illegals. They are going to be deporting all illegals from Florida, which is a good thing. So this is a follow-up on it. They got more details on it. But they're also going to be mentioning Senator Van Hollen, who I refer to as Senator Dumbass. That's the senator that went to El Salvador to go visit Garcia. Well, now all this information that's coming out about how bad of a person Garcia really is, now Senator Dumbass is kind of walking back that he's a poor father from Maryland. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this judge hindering the Trump administration's deportation agenda. Russell, disbar in jail time for all judges that aid illegals in obstruction. Yeah. I mean, it should be. They got to start arresting these people. And they did do those two judges that actually were aiding and abetting illegals. But these judges that are standing in the way, I don't understand how they can do that. Like, I just don't get it. Zero, and he was in court for battery. Yeah. And then that judge tried to sneak him out. Russell, we've had knock and talks here. I've never heard of a knock and talk until they brought it up in that video. What's up, Silver Wolf? Happy Freedom. What's up, Trapper? Happy Freedom to you. Trapper, my state Republican leadership just turned on Trump's China tax. Kentucky also needs to clean up. We got to remember this stuff when it's time to vote. When it's time to vote for the midterms, we got to get rid of all these blue people. They're all corrupt. My feed, happy freedom to you. Deport them all. That's right. There's no excuse to have illegals in the country. There's just not. Tree herder and still no Epstein files. Yeah. I mean, I don't even care about the Epstein files at this point. Arrest the people who were doing bad things on Epstein Island. They got video, they got audio. If you can visually see them breaking the law, go arrest them. Like, it's that easy. Guess I wonder if they're under threat by the cartels. The judges? Maybe, but it seems like they'd be able to do something about it, but maybe not. There is a lot of cartel that's here because there's a lot of everybody is here. A lot of unknowns that are here. Jay Frith, happy freedom to you. Tree herder, stop suing and arrest. Yeah, absolutely. Lawsuit, like, people are corrupt. They're lining their pockets with tax dollars. They're doing criminal activity. They're lining their pockets with dirty money. And then they're going to do lawsuits with them so they have something to spend the money on? Like, that doesn't stop them from doing it. Kevin, you gonna go fishing? Well, good luck to you. Stoner, you choke any chickens? Not lately. Picture dad pollen. It could be pollen. Stoner, sounds like bird flu. You know what? Guess it said something. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Yeah, I guess I went and looked it up for us. Signs of monkeypox: can't clear throat, headache, head is foggy, can't talk, has gray cat. So, there's a chance There's a. Am I technically in my death chair right now? Is that how this goes? I'm not a gynecologist. I just play one on TV. I wonder where my giant cat is. One day that'll be my old lady's name. Where's my giant cat? Holy. Hooligans crack me up. Pumpkin, Rand Paul is making it hard to like him. Why was Rand Paul doing now? Rand Paul was doing good when he was going against Fauci, if it's the person I'm thinking of. I haven't heard his name in the news in a while. Silver Wolf, midterms, too big to rig. Absolutely. It has to be that way. Because it doesn't make sense to vote in Trump and then allow a bunch of blue mayors and governors to take over. That's not going to help us. Pumpkin, let's deport the judge. Put tariffs on the judge, yes. Meta, kick is spazzing. That sucks. I don't know why that's happening. I'm not seeing any numbers on my end. What's up, Chaplain? Happy freedom. The judge in Wisconsin should be disbarred. She got suspended, but I don't know if it's indefinitely or not. They initially said that she was suspended indefinitely, and then 5 seconds later quoted, I don't know if it was the Supreme Court or who it was, but they said that she would be temporarily relieved from duty. So that doesn't sound like an indefinite suspension to me. So I don't really know. Hopefully they talk about it in the next follow-up video. I'm sure we'll have more follow-ups on that story. What's up, Goldie? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Rad? Happy freedom to you. What do you think about Trump changing Veterans Day to Victory Day? I don't know much about it. I've seen the Hooligans talking about it in the general chat earlier today, but I didn't really know what they were talking about. So I don't actually know a whole lot about Victory Day. Vinny, see all these judges are blackmailed by the deep state? That definitely could be. The swamp is deep. What's up, TJ? Happy freedom. The Supreme Court should step in and stop the crazy lib judges. They should, but the Supreme Court just flip-flopped on President Trump using the Illegal Alien Act of whatever the year is. At first they said it was okay, and then they said it wasn't. And I think then they turned around and said it was again. But Speaker Johnson came out and said that he could do something about these district judges, and then just didn't do anything. He made a big announcement. He was like, if we have to, we pull them off the bench. We can do away with these judges. If we could just delete their career if we need to. And then he went back in the little hole he came from, and then that was it. He just literally did nothing. But I suppose that's par for the course for Speaker Johnson. Mills, I want to see President Trump rename the Atlantic Ocean to the American Ocean. Yeah, do it up. Do it up. I'm not against that. Wayward, is Victory Day something that vets want? Whatever they want, I'm all for it. I feel the same way, Wayward. I don't know enough about it to really have an opinion on it, but it's something that's happening. I'll probably know more later today. It's Friday, I believe. It is. So after the live today, we're going to be hanging out in the voice chat over on jeffmaclive.com. So make sure you get yourself a membership so you can join us in the voice chat. I'll be looking into all of this stuff while we're laughing and telling jokes and doing things we do in the voice chat. So I'll know more about the situation later on today. Russell, Rand Paul has always been against tariffs. Oh, see, I didn't know exactly what he was all bent out of shape about. Zero, Rand Paul is actively going against Trump's tariffs. Is he just speaking against it, or is he trying to, like, do something about it? Russell, let's rename Europe America Annex. They'd be so bent out of shape. Guess I'm rename Mexico to men's restroom. I don't know if they're going to let that fly. They might. Pumpkin, we're seeing who the bad guys are. Yep, every single day. Sage Pup, I really like the dad, Ron Paul. Rand is a little weird. See, the only thing I know about Rand Paul is when he was going after Fauci. Otherwise, I've never seen him do anything. Hey, thanks for being here, Kung Fu. Enjoy your tacos. What's up, Viola? Happy freedom. Goldie, the stocks on Yahoo Finance are exploding. Yeah. We just covered a video that was talking about that. But Democrat News is saying that we're going into a recession. Lone Wolf governors threaten judges. Yeah, I could see that too. All right, hooligans, we'll go ahead and move forward here. Like I said, this next one's kind of got two follow-ups in it. It's titled, Trump and Noam have made this their top priority, Deputy ICE Director says. They're talking about the mass deportation happening in Florida. It's called Operation Tidal Wave, and they're going after everybody. Not just people that are actively being criminals while being illegally in the country, but if you're here illegally, regardless of what you've been doing while you're here, you are getting kicked out. Florida is cleaning house. They're also going to be talking about Senator Van Hollen, which is the idiot that went to El Salvador to go visit the poor father from Maryland that we know is Garcia. And both of these topics are in this one video here. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommiTube. Grab the link for whatever platform is your favorite. Share it out. That way everybody knows that we do the thing over here. Let's get this rolling.
Illegal immigrants were arrested in Florida in a single week during this Operation Tidal Wave, which ICE is calling the first of its kind, that paired federal agencies alongside local law enforcement. Now, ICE says that it is the most arrests that they have done in one state in a single week, and that everyone will receive due process. Several gang members were in this group. And listen to the agency's response to this question.
We've certainly seen some stories where mothers who have either overstayed visas or have shown up for a regular appointment and they have a deportation order and with no criminal history, so that person along with their child is deported.
If you are in this country illegally, you are a criminal. We have zero tolerance for criminal aliens in this country. As far as a conversation about children, I think the real conversation we should be having is about the 500,000 children that the Biden administration allowed to come unaccompanied across the border, that President Trump has made a priority to get them back home with their families.
Okay, well, that was ICE Deputy Director Madison Sheehan, who joins me now. Madison, thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, this is a very large operation that was carried out in Florida. What do you say to this judge in Texas who has said that these people cannot be removed and sent to El Salvador anymore, according to his ruling?
Well, look, President Trump and Secretary Noam have made it a priority to keep the American people safe. Border security is homeland security. We have a zero tolerance policy for criminals that are illegal in this country. ICE, the men and women of ICE, work every single day to keep the community safe. This historic partnership with the state of Florida using 287G officers have allowed us to utilize a resource that President Trump has tapped into, working with governors and states as well as local law enforcement to create historic safety numbers for not only the state of Florida, but the American people.
You know, you talked about the missing children, and I think it's such an important point to make. And I'm curious, in these apprehensions, did you uncover anyone who you think may be involved with these human trafficking rings that might help to find some of these children?
Our Homeland Security Investigations team is working every day to find these children, along with our partners at HHS, as well as the other federal agencies, as well as state agencies, to find these children, to bring them back to safety. President Trump and Secretary Noem have made this commitment to the American people, and we're working every day to fulfill that. This opportunity in Florida specifically, we are working to engage federal partners to be able to identify not only these children, but any other illegal criminals that we're able to get off the street on a daily basis, such as the violent gang members that you referenced at the beginning.
So Chris Van Hollen, who went down to visit Kilmar Abrego Garcia, now that he learns more and more of what was said by this man to his own wife, saying that even if he kills me, she said that he told his ex-mother-in-law, even if he kills me, nobody will be able to do anything to him. Here's Chris Van Hollen sort of backpedaling a little bit here. Watch.
I have repeatedly said that we're not vouching for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We are vouching for his constitutional rights, because if you trample over his constitutional rights, you threaten them for every American and everybody who resides
This
in America.
effort to defend this man, it's like, shoot first, ask questions later, as a metaphor. What do you think about all this?
Well, I think the president and Secretary Noem have made it a priority to put the American people first. It's very obvious that the Democrats have chosen not to do that. We're seeing that day in and day out. You saw this with what the Biden administration did, such as bringing those 500,000 people across the border, unaccompanied children. It's really a shame that the Democrats are still fighting for this.
Okay, Madison, thank you very much. Good to have you with us today.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Okay. Like I said, kind of a twofer in that video there. Operation Tidal Wave is kicking ass. They're going to be challenging the national deportation rate here pretty soon. Ever since President Trump got elected, we've kind of heard updates here and there about what Tom Homan has been doing. I can't remember if the last number we heard was 35,000 or 55,000. It's somewhere in there of how many people have been deported since Inauguration Day. Florida's already over 1,000 people arrested, and Operation Tidal Wave's only been going for a little bit. It hasn't been very long. And so, like I said, the difference between Operation Tidal Wave and the mass deportation itself is Tom Homan rolling out the mass deportation. They're just going after active criminals. So illegals that are in the country that are currently committing crime. Operation Tidal Wave, they're just going after illegals in general. And so yesterday we covered a story where they were saying that, this family's being broken apart because people are getting arrested and they're being deported and this, that, and the other. And they try to claim he had a work permit, not a work visa. And they were saying that stuff, hoping that normies don't know the difference. That way they could be like, oh, this is outrageous. They're deporting people who are supposed to be here legally working. But a work permit is not the same as a work visa. He was here as an asylum seeker who had a permit to work. He was not here under a work visa to actually be here legally for a temporary amount of time to actually work, pay taxes, stuff like that. But the news is lying about all of this because they want people to feel bad for these individuals being deported. And it kind of works because the idiots out there, they're saying all kinds of crazy stuff. They're saying that babies are being deported. They're saying that black Americans are being deported. They're saying that, basically anybody can be deported, which isn't true. It's not true at all, but they're pushing it as much as they can. Next up, we got the last little bit of the news before we get into the fun stuff. It's titled, Families of Judges Who Ruled Against Trump Come Under Attack. It's not a good thing, but you can see why that would be happening. They keep standing in the way of what America voted for. But either way, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what your hooligans think about Operation Tidal Wave, as well as Senator Dumbass kind of walking back, sticking up for Garcia out in El Salvador. Zero, that woman did look like a dude. I don't think it was a dude. I think it was a woman, but she's quite masculine. High Plains Drifter DSHS is a good source for info on illegals. Thank you for letting me know. I'll check it out. They need to have a rolling counter like they do for the DOGE clock, so we could see how many people are being deported every day. What's up, Kirsten? Happy freedom. My feed, Ohio has way too many. Hit Springfield, Akron, and Columbus. They need to just sweep all these states. Well, like I was saying yesterday, with this Operation Tidal Wave happening in Florida, I think all states should do this, because it seems like everything that President Trump does, some random judge comes out of nowhere and stops it. But what if every governor did an Operation Tidal Wave where they did their own little mass deportation? Well, then they would be deputizing their local law enforcement, so then local law enforcement would be able to ask legal status, because right now they can't. And then if they did have illegals, they could detain them and then call ICE. And ICE could come pick them up and deport them. And that way, whatever Trump's got going on that's being stifled here or there, I think that they would be able to go around that if the states would pick up the slack. We got blue states that would never do this, but if we got all the red states to do it, it'd be a step in the right direction. Silver Wolf, all the illegals leaving Florida. Did you see that Florida just raised about 2 feet out of the water because all the illegals leaving? That's got to be it. The lefties will call it climate change. Tree Herder, it's pretty crazy that deporting illegals because they came here illegally is a story. It's because everything's so messed up. Kirsten, get them out of here. That's right. Silver Wolf, 55,000 is a long way from 20 million. Yeah, you are right. AR-16, who is screaming? Oh, his chute didn't open. Yeah, it's, gonna have mishaps. That's part of the risk of breaking into the country. Zero, then all the illegals would be in the big blue cities. Well, I mean, we don't want them there, but right now they're everywhere. So if they were only in the blue cities, they'd be the blue cities problems. Maybe there would be so much crime happening in the blue cities, these judges would go sit down somewhere and allow Trump to roll out this agenda. Jay Spray, but then the blue states would get more electoral votes. I suppose that's true. That's definitely a possibility. What's up, Livid Review? Happy freedom to you. California, take a clue from Florida. Yeah, for real. I don't know if California will ever clean themselves up. There needs to be a new governor out there. That's the only way, because as long as New Scum is out there, he will continue to run that state right into the ground. What's up, Lisa? Happy freedom. Mares, if I go outside this country, I need my passport to leave and get back in. What the hell? It's only us, though. Guess I mean, that's an idea. Told care, they walked in here. March them back. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why we give them such special treatment. Push them outside that big gate and then tell them they come back. They ain't going to like what's going to happen. And that's that. Like, I don't know why we got to house them and feed them and give them clothes and put them on a plane and fly them to another country. And then the country doesn't want them. So then we fly them all back and Just push them outside of the gate. They found their way here, they can find their way home. I don't know. People worry too much about feelings. What's up, Bruce? Happy freedom. I'm still waiting on Trump to come out with that Project 2025 merch. I wish he would drop that like right now. He just came out with the Trump 2028 merch. He needs to come out with that Project 2025. That would take care of a lot of lefties right there. Shroomish, Cali's a lost cause. I don't know if it's a lost cause, but they definitely need new management out there. Kirsten, they used to get off the plane and tell the guards, see you next week. So rude. Man, that would make me mad. What's up, FEMA region? Happy freedom to you. Drive safe. Don't text and drive or you're grounded. All right, hooligans, we're going to move into this last little bit of the news before we get into the fun stuff. This is titled, Families of Judges Who Ruled Against Trump Come Under Attack. Now, this is not something you should do, but I understand why it's happening. Hit the like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Family members of federal judges who have ruled against the Trump administration have faced increasing threats and harassment. Intimidating voicemails and emails singling out family members by name have flooded judges' chambers. Social media posts have targeted relatives. Pizzas have even been delivered to their homes by anonymous senders, a tactic meant to intimidate, signaling that strangers know where you live. Legal scholars fear the growing threats against judges' families could have a chilling effect on the judiciary.
The number of really credible threats has just exploded in the last 2 or 3 years. So it's a phenomenon that has been building over time. It has come from both sides of the political spectrum, but this tendency to go beyond criticism of the judge themselves and to mention family members, call them out, talk about them, and give information about where they may work or live, that really crosses a line. My name is Paul Grimm. I'm a retired United States District Judge from the District of Maryland, and I'm currently a professor of the practice of law at Duke Law School. I still have many friends who are on the bench, and what I can say sort of across the board is those that have experienced this or seen their colleagues experience this, they know it's wrong. They don't like it. Does it worry them? I'm sure that it does. But to a person, they're committed to doing the job. There are times, colleagues of mine have had marshal's protection for a period of time. And that is necessary at times when the threats become more than just angry, even personal or insulting or demeaning, become actual threats when people act on it. The more you repeat that to a broader audience, the greater the likelihood that someone in that audience is going to say, that's enough, I'm going to act on this. Is it okay to be upset with the judge's opinion? Of course. Is it okay to express your belief that that was a wrong decision? Of course. But to then question the patriotism, the motives of the judge, and to then say, in order to express my anger, I'm going to attack your family or threaten your family, that is never justified.
Oh, okay. So conservatives are messing up. They're doing things they shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't threaten judges and stuff like that. But now they got something to say about it. The left has been burning the country down for 5 years now, and they act like they can't see the shit. How many trans school shooters has there been? A lot. A fucking lot. Like the last 10 have all been shapeshifters. I don't know how many ways to say it. They were just burning down Teslas and Tesla dealerships. Nobody had shit to say about that. Oh no, they were just peacefully protesting. But now the conservatives are doing things they shouldn't be doing. You know, they shouldn't be. Nobody should be threatening judges. And they're like, oh, it's because of the internet. And then look at who they put. Let me find this. Laura Loomer. Fucking first one they put up there is Laura Loomer. And I knew it was going to be that way. As soon as I started seeing the Twitter posts floating around the screen, I knew Laura Loomer was going to be there. They love attacking her. They love it. She's kind of a wild card. But they act like what she says is causing people to go and threaten judges. Oh, yeah, it's Laura Loomer's fault that judges are standing in the way of what America voted for. Stupid. It's not good that they're threatening judges, but you can't act like it's social media's fault. It's not. America voted for mass deportation. The judges are standing in the way of it. What do you think is going to happen? People are going to be mad. Now, they shouldn't do that, but it's pretty obvious why they're doing it. So I don't know what they expect. And they just go out there and use scary language. Oh, big scary language. They're getting everything so prepped up for summer. We're just going to have a spicy summer. I mean, I don't see any way around it. We got the pro-Hamas protesters. They're all mad about Mahmoud Khalil. He's about to get deported. We got the poor father from Maryland, Garcia. I can't ever think what his first name is, but Garcia, who's actually a woman beating illegal MS-13 gang member, but not to the lefties. They got Carmelo Anthony. A lot of people think that if he gets prison time because he's a murderer, that the left is going to go, march around for him. And then you just got them going mad against President Trump and Elon. Lefties protest almost every single day about Elon and President Trump over nothing. And the Democrat leaders are telling them to hit the streets because Trump is going to cut Medicaid and Social Security, which is out of nowhere. The Democrat leaders might as well go out there and say that President Trump's about to sprout wings. He can lay golden eggs. And the lefties will just believe that stupid shit. Nobody's messing with Social Security or Medicaid, but the Democrat leaders keep going out there and saying that. And the lefties are losing their marbles over it. It's not even happening. That's not even a real thing. And they're out there pissed about it. I guess that's what they were bitching about yesterday for May Day. Is they're like, we got to stop Trump from taking our Social Security and Medicaid. They're not. Nope. That ain't even been talked about. And what's worse is when they bring people who are special needs to these protests and tell these individuals, oh yeah, Trump's trying to take away your Medicaid and all this stuff, which is not true. The left is the worst. They are the worst. Either way, that is the last little bit of the news. We're going to get into the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door of the Advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. And we got 2 funny videos of the day. First one's titled, Don't Be Afraid to Defend Yourself. And our official funny video of the day is titled, When You're Bad at Following Advice. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about these judges being upset that they're getting threatened and doxxed. Guess I'm investing in golden eggs. That's right. J Spray, still running 25% off professionally painted swastikas. It's been a little bit since we heard about that, and that's because a lot of the Democrats that were keying those Teslas and stuff, they're getting domestic terrorism charges. They're all facing 20 years each, and it's not a negotiation. They can't plea deal out of it. So it's crazy how fast things clean up when they actually enforce the law. And it's like they could fix corruption too if they would enforce the law. Zero, they started sending unordered pizzas to the houses afterwards. They do that, well, I mean, they kind of mentioned it in that video. They said they do it as like an intimidation tactic and stuff like that, but I also think it's validation. I think that if somebody sends a pizza to your house or whatever in your name and you accept it instead of turning them away or whatever, then you're validating that that is you that lives at that address. And it only costs them $15 to figure it out or whatever. The review, going road tripping? Well, you be safe out there. J Spray, removing spray paint from stainless steel is not an easy task. What's the OxyClean guy's name? Because I swear to God, he had a product that would do it. But wait, there's more. I'm pretty sure he could help you out with your swastika problems. Bill Clay, who was the one that said Republicans shall not have peace? I think, was it Pritzker? Was it the Illinois governor that said that? I know Pritzker was doing a call to action saying to go march in the streets and all of that, but I couldn't remember if it was him that specifically said that Republicans should not have peace. I can't remember who was saying that. We cover so much stuff every day that sounds just like that I can't remember. FEMA region, they sent pizzas to the InfoWars people who got killed and swatted. I forgot about that. There was, like, one of the reporters got killed or something, right? FEMA region. You know that they claim that Billy Mays never said, wait, there's more? It's a huge Mandela effect. FEMA region, don't do that. Don't do that shit, damn it. Because I swear to God, those Mandela effects freak me out. Because I'm always on the other side. I'm always on the side that has these memories that nobody else has. And I don't know. Never felt more alone in my life. I'm going to actually look at this after the live. Damn. Mandela effects. Thank you for letting me know, FEMA region. Kirsten, them leaders need to go to jail for incitement. Yeah, they do. They do. And it's crazy because the press brings it up. They go, oh, did you hear that Maxine Waters was calling for more riots and stuff like that? And they're all like, yeah, we heard. It's, it sucks. Like, no, it doesn't suck. That is a crime. They're telling them to go out there and do bad things. And then they do. They should be held accountable for that. If you tell 10 people to burn down a house and they burn down the house, that is your fault. It's their fault too, but it's your fault because you told them to do it. So it's like, I don't know. Where's the accountability at? Where has it been? It's hiding somewhere. We got to find it. Era 16, both sides are stalking the fire and we're caught in the crossfire. Yeah, because it seems like nobody's doing anything. Pressure coming from both sides. Kirsten, they have to expect this shit, though. I mean, you would think so. You would think so. These judges are going against what most of America voted for. And then they wonder why this is happening. It's not good that it's happening, but it should be pretty obvious why it's happening. Guess some. When you look it up, let me know if there's more. I'll wait. You gotta guess some. I'm gonna look it up during the voice chat. All of these. Oh, no, hold up. Live Review has already got it. He's already got it. If it ain't real, then where'd this gift come from? I don't know. Steve Mandela effect. It's all Mandela's fault. How did that even get decided? Thank you, Snooks. I appreciate the compliment. Teasel, we will not be able to walk down the streets. I can't wait. It's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. This time of year, they always do this. They always get everything extra spicy for summer. Summer happens, and it's usually not that big of a deal. At least that's how I see it, because when we were covering the protests and the riots every day, that was when you really couldn't walk down the street. We were watching Antifa march down the street with ARs and pulling people out of the cars at gunpoint and stuff like that. Nobody was doing anything about it. The police could be across the street and they wouldn't do anything about it. I think a lot of people still got that in their mind. When it's summertime, they have those visions in their head, but it has not been that bad since 2020. And so they're gearing this up, but I highly doubt it will look like 2020 outside. The only way it's going to get that way is if they put us back into lockdown. The reason they got so many people in the streets was because the only way to leave your house was to be a protester. You were either locked in your house or you were protested. That was it. Because everybody was laid off. Nobody was going to work. You couldn't even go to work, especially here. $1,200 you get caught being outside. But the only way you could be outside is if you were protesting. And that's what got the numbers up. On top of that, they were taking drugs. And that's something that nobody covers. We would sit here and watch these assholes get ready for these riots. And they'd go to this park and they'd all start taking acid and stuff. And they'd be all giggling and talking shit to each other. And 20 minutes later, they're burning shit down. We got cars on fire and stuff. But the news never covered it because they were peacefully protesting. We were watching these drug addicts out here raise hell. And nobody was doing anything. But we're not in the lockdowns anymore. So it'll be spicy, but it ain't going to be lockdown spicy. I highly doubt it. And on top of that is people are pissed about it. People are pissed about what happened in 2020. And so if they did try and come out in big numbers like they did in 2020, there will be resistance, right? There's going to be people who are not going to just sit down and take it. They're not going to. They're going to get mad and they're going to go in the streets. And that could be a big problem because we didn't have that in 2020. We had a lot of people mad in the streets, but it was one side. Anytime the right got out there and they're marching with flags and they had, they were open carrying or anything, the police would show up. They'd start arresting people. They'd be asking where your permit is. You're not allowed to be here. You need to be on the sidewalk. And they'd be trying to rough up the right. But when the left is out there, they just let them do whatever they want. Well, if that was to happen today, I think large numbers would come out from both sides, which would create conflict. That's when there would be real danger. Because then instead of just having the free will to go out there and burn shit down, they'd be worried if you were there to try and stop them, and that makes it a combative situation. It wasn't that combative in 2020 because everyone let them do whatever they want. So if they were to come out in big numbers right now, this year, there would be real conflict in the streets. Not that that's a good thing, but that's, obviously what would happen. Wayward. A kid was shot here in Cincinnati last night. Today his dad went and ran over a cop. The cop was retired working a detail at the University of Cincinnati's graduation. Interesting. I didn't hear anything about that. I will definitely look that up. And we'll probably be talking about it tomorrow. Also, I want to remind you guys, today is Friday, so that means tomorrow is Free Speech Saturday. We will not be live on YouTube or Twitch because those soft-ass platforms can't handle us on Saturdays. They got goofy community guidelines that hold us back. So there's no YouTube, no Twitch on Free Speech Saturday. But if you use that Linktree link in the description, the top of the list is all the places we go live. Use the Linktree in order to make it to a better platform for tomorrow's Free Speech Saturday. Hair Juicer, how do you riot while frying? What a waste of acid. I don't know, Hair Juicer. If I was hallucinating, the last thing I'd be doing is be worrying about being violent. I'd be sitting somewhere licking the wallpaper. Like, I wouldn't be doing that stupid shit. I don't know. Thank you so much, Patriot Dad, for that $5 donation over on Rumble. Really appreciate you, Patriot Dad. Thank you so much. Arrow 16, where is Klaus? I don't know. I really thought he'd be wandering around by now. I'm gonna have to grab him in a second. I have to go look for him because I ain't seen him in how long we been live? 2.5 hours, and I didn't see him the whole time I was setting up the live. That's another 2 hours, and I didn't see him for an hour prior to that. Is he still here in the house? It's been like 5 or 6 hours since I seen the Klaus Daniels. Yeah, Kirsten. Yeah, and we talk about that all the time too. The left wants to ban guns and be violent at the same time. What an oxymoron. Kirsten, same here, licking the wallpaper. I mean, that's the fun thing to do. Nobody wants to go riot on hallucinogens. That's so boring. It's so boring. Yep. Era 16, I think a lot of people that did that crap are 4 years older and a bit more wiser. I agree, Era 16. I think that a good portion of those protesters died from drugs and bad decisions. I think a good portion of them had kids and realized that they didn't want to raise kids in a world where people were burning shit down. And I think some people probably got jobs and careers and invested in things they want, new car, new house. Maybe they got a career they really like that they're working on. And again, they don't want to live in a bad world. You don't want to live in a bad world. You better start being a good person. And it kind of, it's like synergy. So I don't think that we would have 2020 protesters hitting the streets in 2025. Most of them, I don't think so. I still follow all those guys. They do not go live. That's why we don't show them out there protesting, because they don't protest anymore. We got the newer generation now. The iPad kids, they're out here fucking protesting now. They can't read, write, or do math, but man, they're mad as shit, you know? I don't know. Russell, time to get an AI cat? No. Russell Jeff 8 Klaus. Let me find the damn Klaus Daniels. Hold on, I'll be right back. Jesus loves this. Klaus Daniels, where are you at? Come here, buddy. You good boy. Come here. Proof of life. Yeah. Come on now, you big banshee. All right, I found him. Oh, this big Klaus Daniels. I can't hardly lift him. Oh my God. It's like President Trump trying to do when he's doing the rallies. He's talking about the dudes in women's sports. He's like, that girl gets up there and she's, I can't do it, Mom and Dad. And then the guy gets up there and he's just like, bing, boom, no big deal. Yeah, this big Klaus Daniels. They thought I ate you, buddy. I keep telling you guys, it's going to taste like cat pee. Eating cat has got to be gamey. It's got to be. Klaus Daniels is the last. Look at you, you big baby. Just a big baby. This cat is more pork than cat. Get your booty up here. Piglet. Goodness, he was sleeping over by the radiator or whatever the little things are around the edges that heat the apartment. The boiler system? I don't know. Whatever that is. He was taking a nap, and I did not allow that to continue. Yep. Anyways, we'll read through the chat really quick, see what you hooligans think. Since you were wrong, okay, you were wrong. I didn't eat the cat because she won't take her pants off. Snooks, dang, you're not in your unders. No, I didn't have time to even take my pants off this live. I was running late. Guess I'm a jaguar? Mm-hmm. He's a werecat. Russell, well, I've eaten a dog burger at McDonald's. I think you told us that. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to eat dog. I wouldn't want to eat cat either. Rappy, Klaus, show yourself. You got to say the magic words. Ghostly, so I call poison control, but it turns out glow sticks are not toxic, and his dog was just being a bitch. Jeez, Ghostly. I thought you were supposed to call poison control if you suck on a glow stick. I could have worded it different, but I know Guessum likes that stuff, so, you know. Cody, KD, living the life. He was, until I disturbed him. He thinks I'm his wife, the way I just fuck up his day all the time. Some are going to like that. Some are definitely not. MU Klaus, we need you here. I know. We had to summon him, but he was too fat, so I had to go pick him up. R16 Klauszilla, yes. Bill Clay, Klaus started his own live stream. He's in the back room. He's got his face all on the camera. He's like, I live in the house with a fascist. Sympathizing to the lefties. Yes. This is terrible, guess. This is terrible. Let me show everyone. George Floyd's choke and throttle body cleaner. Guaranteed. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. In this economy? Kirsten, you're supposed to do that with the cats. It's in the contract. You're right. You're right. I never forget my obligations. Ghostly might burn a little, but that's it. And that's just stuff they add to keep kids from eating them. From eating glow sticks. I am learning a lot about eating glow sticks today. Patriot Dad, Klaus would not be far from the Taco Bell meat. I mean, I'd lose my buddy though, you know. Klaus is damn near my best friend. I couldn't go on without Klaus. Where would I be? What's up, Aco? Happy freedom to you. Lone Wolf. Even if I was stuck on an island with my dog and dying of hunger, I wouldn't eat my dog. I'd die first. It's very honorable, Lone Wolf. I don't know. If it was me and Klaus Daniels, I don't know which one of us would go first. I bitch a lot and he doesn't, so I think it'd be me. I think it'd be me to kick the bucket first. Shoulder care, I keep my cats awake all day so they can sleep at night. It's a good idea. I forget, and sometimes Klaus likes to riot all night. Guess I'm not eating glow sticks. The toilet would freak me out later. Yeah. That's, man. Could you imagine that? You're tripping balls, you're like hallucinating, you decide to eat a glow stick because in the chat they said it's not toxic, and now that's all you got is advice in your head on how you can eat glow sticks. It might be a little spicy, but you can eat them. Then an hour later, you're shitting and tripping balls. You're trying to figure out why daylight is coming from the shower, and then you go to wipe your ass and it glows. And you're like, am I tripping or is this science? I don't know. You guys are giving me ideas just in time for summer. Thanks for being here, Rappy. Enjoy the rest of your day. Shroomish, do you ever take Klaus Daniels for a walk like a dog? No, I do got a harness and a leash for him, but he just flops over. He's the big flop. He doesn't want to walk. He might lead. If I sat there on my ass long enough, he would probably get up and walk and then ask me why I'm not walking with him. But if I'm leading, he just doesn't want to. He attacks the leash. Patriot Dad, laser pointer. You know what? That could actually fix the problem. Maybe I could train Klaus. Put him on a leash, put him in the harness, go outside and point the laser pointer and just get him used to walking on the leash. You guys, you might be onto something. Ghostly, you are welcome. Thank you, Ghostly. Kirsten, science. Wiping my ass with glow sticks like, trust the science. Just losing my marbles. Russell, oh, I have a story for voice chat now. Very nice. There's something I'm supposed to remind Hair Juicer of, and I can't remember what it is now. I'll have to look through my reminders. So, zero nuclear poop. Yeah. Crying. Jeff, why are you crying in the bathroom? My shit's glowing and I can't remember why. That's why you're not supposed to hallucinate by yourself. Is that right there? Joel Carey, crack a can of Fancy Feast. He'll follow you anywhere. I shouldn't even said that shit that loud. We'll see if he pops up. What's up, Kirk Allen? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Tactical? Did you catch the cat licking the window? No. He was laying next to the heater. What's up, Cinderella? Happy freedom to you. Stank bug stalking? Nah, Xterra. I was wondering if that's what he was doing, but he's got them all locked down somewhere. What's up, Wanda? Happy freedom. Honey Monks. Thank you, Hair Juicer. Yes, I'm going to write that down just in case I don't already have a reminder. I'm looking forward to that. Guess I'm no cat balls either. Okay, no, we're not eating the cat balls. Yes, Nooks, this is exactly what Klaus is like on a leash. He's a freak on a leash. It's just like that. I mean, I wouldn't drag him across the ground like this asshole is doing. He's going to hop right in this guy's bed and just de-dirt himself right there. And that guy deserves it. Anyways, let's move into the fun stuff. Like I said, we're going to be opening today's door of the Advent calendar that was sent to us by Hair Juicer. And we got two funny videos of the day. First one's titled, Don't Be Afraid to Defend Yourself. And our official funny video of the day is titled, When You're Bad at Following Advice. All of this is coming up next. But first, I want to remind you hooligans really quick. If you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Let's see what we get today out of the Advent calendar. We're getting down to it. I think yesterday we said we got 7 days left, like what they say on the ring. And she is a mess. It looks like Portland right now, but that's okay. Let's see what we get. Today is it day 19? It's day 18. Come on now, do the thing. Fight me right here in front of everybody. There we go. Oh, I thought it was empty at first. I was like, yo, we need to write these guys. What is this? Let's see what we got here. How you doing, big booty? Okay, we got a twofer. We got a twofer today. So we got our second tool. So we have a flathead. This one is a Phillips. It's got a little thing on it so you can hang it on your necklace like a rapper. Then I got this thing. I don't know what this is. A ruler, and it looks like a can opener, and it's on a lanyard. It's a thing. I don't know what this end thing is for. Measuring your girth. No, probably not, but it could be. It's hard to say. Either way, more tools for the survival kit. Thank you so much, Hair Juicer. We got to add this into our survival pouch here. I can't wait to take a picture of all this random stuff. This is the MacGyver kit. It's got to be. Thank you, Hair Juicer. All right, hooligans, let's get into these funny videos here. Let's get this first one pulled up. This is by Stoner. No, hold on a second. I wasn't ready. All right, this first one's by Stoner. It's titled, Don't Be Afraid to Defend Yourself.
Come on, Bobby boy. Let's rumble.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Yes. Getting into our official funny video of the day. Let's get this pulled up. This one's by Hair Juicer. Is this? It is this. This is titled, When You're Bad at Following Advice.
I have some advice. Nope. I'm taking this girl on a first date and I really like her and I don't want to screw it up, but I've got no idea where to take her.
It's easy, just do the trick.
What's the trick?
Don't plan anything. Just when you get in the car, say, hey, guess where we're going? And then whatever she says, you take her there. She's going to think you're a genius.
That's brilliant.
Thanks for picking me up.
That's okay.
So, where are we off to?
Why don't you guess where we're off to?
You're not kidnapping me, are you?
Yep. I am.
Oh my god. Really?
Gotcha.
Oh my god! I knew it! I knew you'd do this! Your picture was all f***ed and my friend said you were a red flag! I f***ing knew it! I gotta trust my instincts! Oh god! No!
Let's go, bitch.
Help! Help!
Dad, can I have some?
Okay. They say chivalry is dead. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to drop these Linktree link in all of the chats really quick. We're going to read through, and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. Crazy. That video is so stupid. Anyways, there is the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you'd like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, we'd really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there, keeping the conversation going 24/7. We have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience it live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will have access to Hooligans Alley. You'll have access to the forums. You'll have access to the arcade. And I just put 5 new games in the arcade. Plus, you will have access to our advanced messaging system with the built-in group chats. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the Hooligans. And like I was saying earlier, today is Friday. So right after the voice chat, or right after the live, we're going to be hopping into the voice chat, which is a lot of fun. We're always telling stories and researching things and learning things and laughing the entire time. So definitely get yourself a membership so you can join us in the voice chat a little later today. Either way, we're going to read through and we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up. Good Lord, guess some. Hair juicer, bitch. Yeah, I know. That's what got me right there. He's like, okay, bitch. Like, no, that's just terrible. And you're bad at following advice. Russell, oh my God, that backfired. Yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. It's rough stuff. He's like, gotcha. And she just starts freaking out. Russell, damn it, Bobby. Mm-hmm. Oh, 0 for scratching the flint. Maybe that's what it is. I was going to do it yesterday. I was going to go out there and see if that stick was a flint thing. This thing. And I went outside and there was people standing outside. And I got nervous, and so I came back indoors and forgot what I was doing. I will have to try it again today, see if I can be brave enough to see if it is a flint striker. Maybe that is what this tool is. Maybe this goes with this. I'm going to link them together with the string here. We'll see later today. Maybe I'll do it before the voice chat. So when I show up with injuries, everybody will know why. If it's not, it's one hell of a weapon. Anyways, just kidding. I'm going to set this right here so I remember. I'm going to be like, why the fuck is that there? Because I'm an asshole. Anyways, reading through and we got the pledge coming up. Josh 1776, a wrench? I was thinking so, but the edges on it aren't deep enough for it to be like a multi-tool. What's up, Cadillacs? Happy freedom. Josh 1776, does the box say what's included? No. And I don't even think all of it's in English. It's not. It's 4 different languages. And none of them are telling you what's in the box. It just says not suitable for children under 3 years old, choking hazard, small parts, may be swallowed or inhaled. That's okay. Klaus Daniels is 3 years old, so we're all good. No, it doesn't tell you what's in the box. It says Merry Christmas, though, and Happy New Year. I didn't realize. It does. Merry Christmas, you hooligans. All right. Reading through. Welcome back, Cricket Kiss. Cricket Kiss. Jeff needs HelloFresh meals. There's actually meals called Dinnerly that are, it's like $6 a meal. I think I'm gonna try and do that, but I can't afford anything right now. I'm on the brink of going back to ramen noodles 7 days a week. Ghostly. Senator John Fetterman just held up his flight to Pittsburgh from taking off because he wanted to argue with the pilot about having to wear a seatbelt. That sounds just like Fetterman. You'd have thought that they told him to put a suit on. Hey, thanks for being here, Era16. Enjoy the rest of your day. Told to Care playing out her fantasy. That's hilarious. Giggling Spy, happy freedom to you. That kit will need duct tape to be a MacGyver kit. I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been duct tape yet. I'll have to throw that in myself. And thanks for being here, Patriot Dad. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bill Clay, eat at the gas station and hang around outside while drinking a beer and eating a hot dog. No, I don't do all of that. I eat my gas station food in secrecy. Only you hooligans know. Trapper, I keep reposting. I hope it helps. It does, Trapper, and I really appreciate you. I got a notification the other day saying that you reposted here on Rumble. It really does help. I appreciate you, Trapper. Thank you, Appeal to Heaven. Appreciate you being here. Cody, apply a spark and your pile of magnesium shavings catch fire. You now have a great means of starting a campfire, even if the natural tinder or wood in your campsite is damp. Yeah, well, I don't have time to camp because I can't run the live from the camp. That would be cool. But I'm excited to give it a try. Hey, thank you for being here, Viola. I was thinking about the tape too. I'm going to have to just add tape on my own if it's not in the kit. Cheeky Chops, you made brisket? That sounds fantastic. Mills, Fetterman had to explain they were not in a car to the pilot. I believe it, Mills. Oh, Skulls, I think it has a bottle opener on it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's what this is. This part's the bottle opener. This part is the part we're questioning. I think it was that instant coffee that is causing me not to be able to clear my throat. Russell, you got Chinese food on the way? What'd you get? I want Chinese food. I can't afford it. It's like $60 per person here. Zero. Jeff gets 12 rolls of duct tape next week. You can never have enough duct tape. I need to get my ammo squared account going again, because then you guys can purchase ammo and it will just automatically get sent to the house. Simply Witchy, is it to put the rim of a can and poke a hole in? The can opener? Maybe that is what it is. Maybe it's a can opener, not a bottle opener. Maybe the end is a bottle opener. I don't know. I've always used a lighter, so I don't really know. I've never used an actual bottle opener. Thanks for being here, Jay Spray. Thank you, Too Old to Care. Ghostly, if I sleep with pants on, you best believe there's a lighter in there. Yes, Ghostly. Oh my God, Meta, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot. Hold on a second. Remind me to go to the post office. Oh. Remind me to go to the post office 9 a.m.
Okay, I'll remind you tomorrow at 9 a.m.
I will not forget. I will not forget, Meta. Thank you for reminding me. I can't believe I forgot today. What an idiot. I cannot believe I did that. My bad, Meta. What's up, Hooligans Island? Happy freedom to you. All right, Hooligans. It is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, we did the thing. We're going to read through one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind. But we are wrapping this up. Like I said, tomorrow is Free Speech Saturday, so there's no Twitch, no YouTube tomorrow. So use the Linktree link to find your way to a better platform. It's all listed at the top. You ain't got to dig for it. Just click one of the buttons that is not Twitch. And I don't even think YouTube's on the list anymore ever since they demonetized me because they're a bunch of bastards. But But either way, like I said, no Twitch, no YouTube tomorrow. We will be live on Kick, Rumble, jeffmaclive.com, and X. So hopefully I see you guys here tomorrow. Like I said, we're reading through just to make sure no hooligans are left behind, and we're wrapping her up. Kellex making homemade chalupas. Very nice. Can't go wrong with taco ingredients. That's not exactly sexy talk, but it sounds that way. Thank you, Cricket Kids. Appreciate you being here. Viola, go to the post office. Yes, I will remember tomorrow. Hey, thanks for being here, Mares. Thanks for being here, Tactical. Cheeky Chops, you're just going off. Thanks for being here, Zero. Thank you, Tony Rez. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, hooligans, I think we're good to go. Thank you guys so much for being here. Like I said, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Free speech Saturday. No YouTube, no Twitch. I'm going to go get some food, and I encourage you hooligans to do the same. Enjoy the rest of your night, and if you go outside, be safe. Those lefties, they're out there, and they're angry, and they don't know why. But make sure to make your way back to us tomorrow. Like I said, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.